first this evening. What's up, Dion? How you doing today, sister? Uh-oh, take yourself off mute.
I'm good. How are you, wife?
I'm blessed. I am blessed. Ready to get in it. Ready to get after it. I don't want to have people up until 2 o'clock in the morning tonight, okay?
Right. I can't be. I got an interview in the morning.
All right now. Hey, we got to make sure that we keep you lifted up for sure.
Yes.
What's up, Spaces?
What's going on? What's going on? I'm just hoping Rolando didn't choose to wear suspenders this week.
well, just don't have him stand up and throw his crotch in the camera. Let's just not let that happen again. What's up, Celeste? How you doing this evening, sister?
Hey, good evening, everybody.
Hey, thank you for pulling up today. Thank you for pulling up. What's going on, Robert? How you doing, brother? One half of the X-Ray podcast. What's up with you, brother?
Oh, just been blessed. Been blessed.
I can dig it.
Hope everybody else is blessed. But yeah.
Well, they here, so of course they are. What's up, Crystal? How you doing today, sister?
Hey everyone, happy Wednesday.
That it is. That it is. All right. We're gonna pull up the brother Rolando. Look at him fresh. We gotta have some theme music for Rolando, man.
What's up, everyone?
Put that Outcast on.
Y'all feeling the sweater? Y'all like the sweater?
Yeah. Without a doubt.
I told you, don't make me go deep into my wardrobe, man. We get deep.
Who you cleaning up for? Who you cleaning up for, Rolando?
No, I ain't cleaning up for nobody. It's just gotta break out the wardrobe, Don't go to church like I used to, so the wardrobe's still sitting in there, but like you said last week, don't make me break it out. I'll be casket fresh on you.
I can dig it. I love it. Last but not least, what's up, Josh? What's going on with you, brother? Uh-oh, he's muted. We got to get his technical difficulties in control, in order. We still can't hear you.
He sounds far.
What about now?
Yeah, we can hear you up.
All right, cool.
We got you.
All right,
Outstanding.
This man
What's going on?
Suit. Are you serious?
Yeah, he clean today, ain't he? He clean today, ain't he? He was clean last week.
Right, that's why he doing it. Lights can't stand up. What's up, man?
Oh man, I gotta step my game up then. Rolando, you setting the bar too high, man.
Hey, he's stepping it up. He's stepping it up, man. I appreciate it, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat. All the blues, thank you guys very much. What's going on, Lori Ottison? Appreciate you pulling up. What's up, B? How you doing today? Appreciate you pulling up. We got Hadassah in the building as well. Sugar Shane in the building. Appreciate you pulling up, man. Naomi, appreciate you pulling up as well. Hunter coming through with the Bible verse always helps us get the show kicked off properly. Today's verse, or this evening's verse more or less, is out of Hebrews chapter 4, verse 16. It says, let us then approach God's throne of grace with confidence so that we may receive mercy and find grace to help us in our time of need. Hey, Dion, it's right on time for you. Right on time for you for that interview tomorrow. Right on time.
Definitely.
See, Hunter knows what's up. No, Hunter knows what's up. He knows what's up. All right, man. So I don't know if you guys had a chance to look at the file, and thank you, Celeste, for sending that out. I did populate it with a few clips or whatever the case may be that we're going to discuss today. So I want to jump into it, but before we do so, how are you guys doing today, man? Y'all doing all right?
Yes, we had a great Bible study over. I thought I was going to be late, but I was on time, thank God.
Hey. Well, we appreciate it. The Lord first. It's all good. Did Sugar Shane show up? Was he there?
Yes, and so was Spaces talking about who was I yelling at now. I was like,
I hear that. Yeah. I'm with this brother right here. Yah first. I'm there with him. And then you can squeeze us in after the fact. I know you're busy, Crystal. Thank you for pulling up. All right, let's get after it, man. I don't know if you guys had a chance to see the thumbnail, see the title, but I want to start there. And I want to start there with a conversation around Stephen A. Smith. I'm actually going to go into a little more detail tomorrow on the live stream, but I wanted to get your thoughts, on this. And I want to play this clip here for you. But before I do so, I want to lead it in like this and just let's get the show started. Hit the like button for me if you haven't done so already, man. Super chat, super thanks are greatly appreciated as well. Appreciate everybody that supports the channel financially. I do appreciate you guys, man. But let's get into the sugar honey iced tea storm surrounding Stephen A. Smith. Now, I'm not sure if you guys had a chance to see the video, but Stephen A. Smith, man, he's been caught in the political crosshairs, taking heat from every direction. Michelle Beadle came at him today. Carrie Champion, she crossed the line. She came at him today. We talked about it a couple of weeks ago. The Boule snatched his behind back onto the Democratic plantation. Stephen A. Smith, man, I think he's at a point where he's finding himself isolated as somewhat of a political castaway of sorts, you know, bending to the left so often that it's just become a reflex. And just when you think you can start to cheer the brother on, he bends the knee and veers left again, leaving people like myself and so many of you guys on this panel puzzled and frustrated. And the lesson here is you can't appease the left without buying into every agenda, without question, without critique. They demand lockstep loyalty, blood in, blood out type of allegiance. If you guys remember the movie from back in the day, I want to share this clip. I want to get you guys' thought. We're going to get into it. Hit the like button for me. Let's go.
Did I say this? I'm not going to let y'all get away with that, with this stuff about men and black men with black women. First of all, to the brothers out there. Can we ask a question? Can we disagree with a sister from time to time? We damn sure do it privately. What, we're forbidden to do it on camera?
I got to pause it right there. Just to the brothers. I know a couple of you guys jumped out, but can you disagree? Can you critique the sisters in this day and age? Can you do it quickly?
No.
Is that just an emphatic no? We'll keep it moving.
Right. We're going to say no.
What's up, fellas? You gonna leave me standing here, sitting here, and don't say anything? We can't disagree? Without being accused of disrespect or misogyny? For asking a question? Again, I apologize for the unintended effect, and I meant it.
That's the problem right there. He keeps apologizing. You give a critique, and then you come back and apologize for it. We here on this channel, we was riding with Stephen A. until he bent the knee. We was riding with him.
I don't want that to get lost. But what I'm saying is, why are we having this problem? You're trying to make this about the black man and the black women. Stop. My record speaks for itself. Google me. We ain't going for that. You think I don't know what the hell this is? I ask a simple question. Sit down for this one. If it were Candace Owens instead of Jasmine Crockett or somebody else, what would you have said?
Nothing.
Nothing.
If it was the black woman who ran for governor of Virginia and just lost to the woman Spanberger in Virginia, Earl Sears, I believe is her name, Winsome Earl Sears. If I was talking about her, would y'all have said anything? If I was talking about somebody like Sage Steele, our former colleague at ESPN, who's now in the podcast space and doing her thing, would you have said anything? Trying to make this about gender and race. No, this is about politics, ideology. You expect me, as a black man, to stand firm supporting the Democratic Party.
Exactly.
That's what this is about.
Exactly.
That's what this is about. If I said the same thing about those conservative black women, y'all would not have said a word. So if it's about politics, say so. See, that's where the left gets slick. And this is somebody, you can't say anything to me because I vote for you anyway, because I'm looking at a policy by policy, and I understand the attention that needs to be brought to the desolate and the disenfranchised, to the poorest amongst us, and for us to do what we can to uplift them. That's how I live my life, trying to do it. And even though the Republicans might have some policies and their thought process might be free market capitalism, free land of opportunity, do that, whereas the Democrats might have given blacks more access to capital through some policies and what have you, The bottom line is, on far too many occasions, it's come across like they care more about that than the other side might. Whatever you may think, the fact of the matter is, this is about politics and ideology, and about the left trying to muscle and flex us into doing and thinking and spreading and disseminating what you want me to do. Bump that. I apologize. Fuck that. I'm not doing it. I do what I want to do. I think for me. I voted for Kamala Harris. I voted for Barack Obama twice. I voted for Bill Clinton. Don't come to me acting like, oh, I'm supposed to parrot your speech. You sitting there on the White House lawn dancing with Joe Biden, who was 80. Forgetting you're going to bring up Trump with the rent issue in the 70s, but we're going to conveniently ignore Joe Biden and the crime bill with the Senate in the 90s. And the disproportionate effect that had on black people and incarceration. Bill Clinton apologized for it. It happened in the 90s. He apologized for it in 2016, conveniently when Hillary Rodham Clinton was running. By the way, when the privatization of the prison system took fold, wasn't it some Democrats making money off of that because they invested in it? We didn't bring that up. I can't ask that. I can't bring that up. I can't be suspicious about stuff like that. Come on, y'all. Come on.
All righty. That was a mouthful right there. I want to start with you, Celeste. I want to open the floor with you today. You can go with it wherever you want to go. I do want to say this before you go. I want to say was it 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago at this point that we did a show discussing him and we were bigging him up. It was like, man, Stephen A's like showcasing like he has a spine. And then it wasn't even a full week cycle that he had, basically bent the knee, took all of it back. And it's like, you're asking for people to get behind you, but it's like, you're not standing on a square. You're not standing, firm in a belief system that people can get behind. No one really knows where you stand. What are your thoughts?
Well, first of all, I think that if you ever spent any time watching Hallmark movies or the Hallmark Channel or soap operas, you would find that not only Black women, but all women are beyond critique. So that's not something that's particular to Black women. That is something, a position that society has put all women in. However, in terms of Stephen A., I just want to come out and say I was not one who was overly supporting Stephen A. because Stephen A., like the clock, tends to only be right twice a day. And I think he's in a transition. He's forced into a transition because he, like many, are in a difficult spot. And the spot is this: the lane he used to operate in very successfully in is dying. And he's smart enough to know that. However, he doesn't have an audience any place but that lane. So he is trying to be right twice a day to court a new audience of people who are really moving the conversation forward while still maintaining his old support. And it makes him often conflicted. So I expect to see more of this type of behavior. I expect to see him come out and say something and we can all cheer, and we should, when he says something right. And I expect him to capitulate and crawl with his tails between his legs most of the time. And I think the truth of that is a secret that he's hoping doesn't get out. The fact of the matter is, he identifies as an independent, and he identifies himself as someone who's not beholden to either party. However, how you identify yourself is one part of the equation. To complete the equation, other people also have to identify you as that. And his audience has identified him as a liberal. And they are saying to him, not that we expect you, Stephen A., to toe the Black line. We expect you to toe the liberal line. And so far, he's doing it.
Absolutely. Robert, get in there. You can go with it wherever you would like to go. What are your thoughts?
Okay. So, that's the thing, right? That's the thing with My mic is on. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. That's the thing about independence. I have an issue with people that are like, well, I'm a centrist independent. And, in 2009, he came out as an independent. And you can basically test the waters. Whatever he feels that is popular, he can join with that and then come back this way, right? That's why he came out recently critiquing the Democratic Party and how they're losing, and then one day he's supporting Trump and not supporting Trump, which it sounds good, right? Because we can all agree and disagree with many other people, but the issue with an independent, in my opinion, is that I kind of look at it like a let's say there's a burning building, right? And you got the people that are there standing looking at this building, right? You got some people that'll jump into the building to help somebody that needs help, right? And then you got other people that are just filming it. They're just filming it, just there. I don't want to get in there to help, because I don't believe that they should help. Whatever. Then you got the other people that are, the just, just there, just to see what's going on. And that's how I see, conservatives. We're the ones that trying to get into the fire, first responders, trying to help, trying to figure out. The Democratic parties, well, it's not my business, whatever. They and the independence is like, I don't know, I have no opinion, whatever. I don't know where I feel, I don't know what I stand. That's how I kind of see it. But as far as the critiquing the women and the black women, I don't know, man. I think that just not like Salih said, it's all women right now in this era. You can't even say anything because they can, if you body shame them, they can body shame us guys, right? Say, oh, you're short, you're and if you say the other, like, you're a little bit skinny or whatever, then it's like, whoa, no, but that's just it's what I think. So
got you, Crystal. I want you to get in there. Candace put this quote out there: "A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways." I love that. And that's what we see out of Stephen A. And Robert, I think you're absolutely right. He kind of throwing his finger out there and kind of seeing which way the wind is blowing, and he's kind of grifting one way to another to try to get a bag. And so far, I mean, it's been fairly successful. My issue with independents, all the independents that I've met, they've all blue. They all are former Democrats, and they all vote blue no matter who. So even though they say they're Democrats, they are liberals at heart. In all actuality, very similar to what was the lady that we discussed about 2 weeks ago with the glasses, Teslin.
Teslin Figueroa.
Yes, same thing. Remember, she said the same. I'm an independent, but all her talking points was straight liberal. I mean, it was almost like she was reading off the liberal checklist,
But that's because contemporary times right now, it seems like the left is what the popularity is, right? According to Hollywood and all that, whatever is in the media. That's why they seem to kind of cater to the left. But my belief is right now we're seeing a switch. We're seeing a switch where the Republicans are starting to sound famous. That's why he's starting to kind of like move over a little bit. But then he's seeing like, oh, what happened? Seeing that the left still has a hold, and he's coming back. And it's hard to read those people because there was a rumor that he wanted to run for president in 2028. Right?
There's no way that's happened. No way that's happened.
But he's testing the waters because again, he's just seeing what sticks. And it's worked. I mean, look at Al Sharpton. He was one of the guys that got good with riding a wave. And I don't know. Crystal,
what are your thoughts?
I agree with Candace. Because that's exactly how I feel. A double-minded man, definitely not stable. When you look at Ephesians 4:14, it says, "Then we will no longer be immature like children. We won't be tossed and blown about by every wind of new teaching. We will not be influenced when people try to trick us with lies so clever they sound like the truth." Stephen A. Smith lets people tell him anything, and he cowers every time, every single time. Every like I'm trying not to be graphic, but he keeps getting his cojones chopped off and dropped somewhere every few seconds. It's like, what is going on? Are you a man or are you not a man? I don't understand who you are. Like you can't stand on business. You afraid to say something. And the thing is, you're absolutely right. And I think that's what irritates me so much about women. Yes, I'm going to say this. Women, it's like they will criticize, they will disrespect. They could say what they could do, whatever when it comes to a man. If a man just says, I disagree, oh, you're a misogynist. Nope. Listen, he does not respect women. Nope. He's a woman hater. And you're just like, because he corrected you? Did I miss? And then people actually cower to that. And I'm like, why are you cowering to this foolishness? The thing is, this is what you call manipulation. And the Bible warned about this in Isaiah 3:12. He says, childish leaders oppress my people and women rule over them. And that is what's happening. He says, my people, your leaders mislead you and they send you down the wrong road. And that is where we are living right now. Exactly what Isaiah 3:12 was saying, because women are leading. Women leading is, listen, I love women. I'm a woman. But women are a hot mess. We have sparkle creeds, men and women's bathrooms and sports, and all the foolishness. And it's from women leading, and that is the problem. So we need to take a seat, do exactly what God called us to do, and let men lead. And I just need, I feel like Stephen A. Smith is going to, because like you said, he's the lone wolf. I think the Lord is just going to let Stephen A. Smith hit rock bottom. And when he hits rock bottom, all he can do is look up at that point, because no one is going to take him. There's going to be zero respect unless he really, truly just bends the knees and never, ever, ever speaks out against the Democratic Party. Listen, he will end up on an island all alone. And lastly, just for someone in the comments, they kept saying Black women are heavily involved with Christianity. They're so heavily involved with Christianity. I just want people to understand, just like I said about the Similac lady, everybody that has a church, everyone that says that they are Christian, if they have no fruit, they're not Christian. I don't care if Black women show up in churches. Like I just told everybody in my live, I don't want to hear about these Negro Black spiritual leaders that can't even catch their breath when they're talking. I don't care about them people. They're not, that is not of God. So don't mix up the two. You need to see fruit. If you don't see fruit, they're not followers of Christ. That's it.
Rolando, I want you to get in there, brother, and you can go with it wherever you want to go. What are your thoughts on Stephen A?
Well, I mean, I don't really have much to say about Stephen A. For once, I agree with Crystal. Basically, he's just a coward, dude. Because he always folds. Anytime you press him just a little bit, he folds. Yeah. And people were trying to push this guy to run for president. President of what? He couldn't be president of the freaking neighborhood watch. You know, like, so it's just a joke. A lot of these guys, man, who are making these ridiculous, paydays, 20 million, 25 million. These are people you don't look to get advice on much. You might get a kernel of wisdom here and there, but for the most part, there's nothing there, man. Those people sold out for the money a long time ago.
I can dig it.
I can dig it. They just shells of people basically walking around, and trying to preach some type of morality when they have very little morality themselves. So I just don't really pay much attention to them. Even as a sportscaster, I just never really paid much attention to him. I'm more of a Shannon Sharp guy. I was never a Stephen A. Smith guy. I don't even find his sports stuff interesting. But Black women in particular, do have a problem on getting criticized, which they really need to come to grips with, because a lot of times the criticism doesn't come from a place of trying to harm you or hurt your feelings or belittle you or make you feel less than. It's more of a place of love where we want you to get yourself together, You know, don't get played by the system. Don't fall into this feminism. You know, just trying to just help you just avoid a lot of the traps. You know, so and guys like Stephen A. They claim they're independent, but these are really liberal men in disguise. You
I
know,
don't even know
these
if
are
you can
just
say disguise. I don't think he's in disguise. I don't think he's in costume. I mean, he's come out and let us
yeah.
know that he voted for Kamala, voted for Obama twice, voted for Hillary Clinton. He's come out and he's endorsed or at least voted for, every liberal candidate, up there in New York City. He's not in disguise.
But, but you
He's
have
out his own mouth has come out and said that, hey, I don't know how this works, but I think he says I am fiscally, I'm conservative, but socially he's liberal. He's come out and said that on a multitude of occasions. So I don't think I don't think he's wearing a disguise. I think he's, showing us exactly who he is. I just think that, he tends to get us somewhat excited. I think a lot of it is the fact that he has a platform, and every now and again, like Celeste said, there's, dead clocks twice. It's right, twice a day. And he will come out and say some factual things. And then next thing you know, he bends a knee and comes back. I want to get Dion in on the conversation. Dion, what are your thoughts, in reference to Stephen A. saying, are Black women above critique?
Well, I mean, nowadays, I guess that's true for most Black women. They feel that way. Um, and, it's coming from that place of, well, the fact that so many Black women have just staunchly embraced this whole feminism thing. And that's where they are at this point. And, it's sad, but like Crystal mentioned out of the book of Isaiah, chapter 3, that was basically the idea and the concept behind that verse is that what do I want to say? I'm losing my train of thought. I'm sorry. But basically is that, in biblical times when women were in power and women were leading, that was not something cute. That was a sign of judgment. So, and the reason it's judgment is because men in an environment like that can't be the men that God wants them to stand up and be. They have to sit down, they have to acquiesce, and they have to act like children, in the presence of women, whether it be Black women or just women in general. And it's been so disgusting to see that happen, especially in these last 4 years or so, with everything that's gone on under Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. There's just been so much of that. And I grew up in a family where the men were men. There was not this, it's not this um this whole mindset. Boy, I think about it all the time. Like, if my dad was alive and my uncles, they would be outdone by the way things have changed and how the tables have turned. But I mean, this country is under judgment, whether people know it or not. It is not cute. Women being empowered. I'm saying that as a woman, but and just in general, I mean, it's sad when you can't undergo any kind of criticism. And somebody like Jasmine Crockett, who has so much to say about so many people, and she's supposed to be untouched. Please,
Well, I
that's
think
just ridiculous.
a lot of the issue is that, and I'm gonna showcase Jasmine Crockett here in a second. That's the next segment I want to get into, and I want to give Spaces an opportunity, and Josh, if they would like to add anything to it. If you guys have anything that you would like to add in reference to Stephen A., I want to give you guys an opportunity to do so. If not, we can keep it moving.
Yeah, I was on the fence of how I honestly truly felt about Stephen Smith. Let me phrase what I thought about Stephen A. Smith. And I never really known, like, he started off as a sports commentator, and being the fact that he was a sports commentator, I didn't know much about it because I don't follow sports at all. Like, my guys that I hang around with, they follow sports, and then they have something like an event for whatever's coming up, and then I'm just there like a fly on the wall. But I lost what little respect I had for him when he apologized to Jasmine Crockett. I couldn't, like, that is crazy. And it's not so much that it's not so much that he apologized. It's that he apologized for something that wasn't offensive. He didn't disrespect her how she looked. He didn't disrespect whatever accomplishments she may have. He didn't say anything like she's a low IQ individual, like Trump would say. He didn't say anything disrespectful. He just apologized and for the least offensive comment that I can imagine somebody saying. And they said, it's been said already in this conversation, the people, I don't know, I've been asking myself which is worse, a person that is blindly liberal or a person that is independent, because you don't know, you just, like Stephen A. Smith, don't know which way the wind is going to blow them in. Because I don't know, like, the Bible speaks about lukewarm people, right? So if I don't understand, I'm not saying that everybody should be conservative in their thought process and in their political beliefs. I do also say, however, how can you be liberal in your beliefs, like, and still have morals about yourself? Because I noticed with that, and with Stephen A. Smith, he said he voted for Kamala Harris, Obama twice, and Hillary Clinton. That's 20 years.
Yes.
I think he also went down the list of, I think, Al Gore as well. One of those times during the Bush time frame. I think he went down that list. As far as I know, the dude's only voted Democrat.
Right.
At a certain point, you start bleeding blue. So.
Hey, Brother Wise. Hey, Brother Wise. I just wanted to say, you said I was fresh tonight. Josh is over here. He's fresh tonight. This dude looked like he just left the NBA draft. Let me tell you, now that's fresh right there, because you about to get some money. You know what I mean? So before we go ahead and move on to the next segment, I just wanted to throw that out there. I know I'm fresh, but this dude right here is NBA fresh. That's a different type of fresh right there. Yeah, that's Lamborghini fresh.
Well, the compliments. Josh, did you want to add anything to Stephen A, or you want to keep it moving? You muted if you are talking. I can't hear you.
You sound far.
Real low.
You sound far away. Yeah.
Yeah, you
Volume.
gotta turn your mic up.
Let me see. Let me check you out here. Yep. There's a mic issue going on that side. While he's figuring that out.
Yeah.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's a lot better.
There you go.
All right, cool. Yeah. Let's go. This technology, boy. I swear I used to work at Apple. I'm gonna do something real quick. I'm gonna throw it off a little bit. We're all Christians, correct? Right? We all believe in God. Do we all have the grace to give Stephen A. Smith forgiveness? Like, do we have that in us? Because I feel like he's like a lot of guys that are kind of silent right now. He is super in between. You got to realize where he's coming from. He's a typical black man that's voted Democrat and been slapped in the face with the truth and has no idea to really respond to right now. That's how I'm taking it. And a lot of people are bringing up the fact that he has money and he's getting paid. But if I was in his shoes and I'm getting all this information, remember, he's also tapped into like everybody. Music and sports taps you into behind the scenes. I'm in the music industry. There's stuff I may know that everybody else may comment on. It's like, man, y'all just don't know the details. So now he's probably like texting people, trying to figure out the truth. And as he's going through his process of finding the truth, we're seeing that process. Does that make sense to y'all?
Mm-hmm.
So with the whole woman part, we all know, especially black men, because we saw Kevin Samuels get blasted on internet for speaking the truth and it wasn't the fact just because what he was saying, it was how he was saying it. But also, if you was to take what he was saying about the truth of our community, if you was to read it on paper, he was telling the truth. I understand that we cannot give criticism to certain people, because if they accept the criticism, they now have to accept the fact that they're wrong. And a lot of people don't know how to admit that they're wrong. Does that make sense? So it's better for me to put the blame back on you and personally attack you instead of me just sitting back and saying, you know what, I'm actually wrong. Like that's That's how this is my perspective from the outside looking in. I don't like space. I'm 6'5". I did not play sports. I don't know anything about sports. All I knew about was Stephen A. Smith's hairline, and he was loud. That's all I know about Stephen A. Smith. That's
pretty
all
much
I
all you need to know.
Well, yeah, that's pretty much. But I've been watching him, and I've been, because he's loud, and I pay attention to him. I watch his show often. There are times where I disagree. There's times that I do agree. I've been seeing people make comments about Stephen A. Smith about he doesn't criticize Trump and he doesn't criticize white people. I'm like, if you actually watch his show, he criticizes everybody. Everybody gets to smoke. I'm just being honest with you. I'm just sitting back watching his response. Yeah, he apologized. He also talks about how he has a lot of black women that's close to him in his life. We don't know what's going on when he turns off them cameras. His mom, his aunties, his sisters could be getting up in his tail, and he's more responsible to them than he is what we think he should be. So he has a responsibility on, his stream and also his family. So he's probably got that pressure. Like, I know I'm gonna look like an a-hole, but my auntie just chewed me out. My cousin just chewed me out. Mom just chewed me out. Let me just go ahead and do this because they might be right. We don't know. I'm giving him grace. I might be tore up in the comments for this, but I'm going to give him grace because I don't understand what he's going through. He may be rich, but he's still allowed to have an opinion. And I'm just going to watch because a lot of stuff I wouldn't know unless I was watching his show. And he brings on all these different people that a lot of the Democrats don't talk to. I give him the space for that. Like, man, he talking to all kinds of people. And he said, Jasmine Crockett, if you want to come on the show, and she has not been on there. But, that's my take on Stephen A. And look like Wise about to say something.
No, I don't think I was saying. I was just shaking my head. Like, I don't think she will go. She's not going anywhere that's not friendly to her.
That's like the Kamala Harris effect. I think.
Yeah, exactly. He tried to get her on the show too back in before the election. She wouldn't go anywhere that wasn't friendly. He offered her, an opportunity to go on and speak with him. She wouldn't do it. Yeah, but I understand where you're coming from, and I think my issue with Stephen A. Smith, it's not that, he speaks to both sides. It's that he apologizes. If you're going to be the guy that's right down the middle saying, hey, I'm here to call out everything that's going on both sides. I've watched Stephen A. Smith, and I've watched his show. I've heard him call out people on the right. I've heard him call out people on the left. My issue with it is that the people on the right don't get butthurt about the fact that he called them out and he doesn't have to capitulate and apologize. People on the left do get butthurt when he calls them out and instead of saying, no, I said what I said, he capitulates and apologizes. That's the problem. I could care less that he's an independent. Be an independent. I'm good with that. Talk to both sides. Talk about both sides. But don't apologize when you know deep down inside you're not wrong. That's the issue right there. That's the big issue for me.
And you know what I think about him, and I'll say this real super quick. What I think about him is I give him just a little bit of grace to your point, Josh. I give him just a little bit of grace in the fact that what he spouses, for the most part, that we know him to say, that's what's lining his pockets. So I understand, like he works for ESPN, which is owned by Disney. So, and now when I think about Disney, I think about when I went to watch the recent Little Mermaid movie, aka DEI Mermaid. I don't know if anybody else seen it, but that was a full-on DEI campaign, right? So, and then when you factor that in, you factor in 24 years of his life has been dedicated to Democratic presidential voting, and you work for Disney. I honestly, to be honest, I think Stephen A. Smith is conservative. I think he's conservative, but he has to align with what's lining his pockets. That's what I think.
Well, I mean, he did just sign a guaranteed contract. So, I mean, at this point, I mean, unless he does something crazy, I mean, if they want to take it back, they can always figure a way to take it back. But let's keep it moving. A couple super chats I want to read and a chat I want to read. Shout out to LJ. Said she said I criticized her and now she might be off the market. See what happens when a good critique goes a long ways, man. I'm telling you, man. LJ might be off the market right now. Okay, look at that. We matchmaking right now already.
Disappointed. I'm highly disappointed.
Somehow the other, you forgot to do your work when it comes to me, but it's okay.
Hey, all I can do is give advice. You know what I'm saying? All I can do is give advice. You the one got to put yourself out there for a man. You got to make yourself available. That's not. Hey, I ain't got nothing to do with me now. You know, all my guys, they're all they're accounted for. They're taken.
He right there.
Remember, women don't want to be too available. They never want to be too available.
Shout out to the Energizer Bunny coming through with the $5 super chat. Says, I pray for Stephen A. Smith to come to Christ and to the conservative side. Okay. And thank you, Energizer Bunny, for the $5 super chat. Says, he who is without sin cast the first stone. Absolutely. I agree with that. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Thank you very much. And shout out to LJ. Shout out to LJ. Listening. Okay. I like it. Now, once you get engaged, we got to get, pictures, all that kind of good jazz, all that kind of stuff. We'll get you highlighted right here on the show. Get you highlighted. All right, let's keep it moving. I don't know if you guys had a chance to see this, but I want to play this clip for you guys. It's pretty ridiculous. Radio show host Stephanie Miller kisses the feet of Democratic Representative Jasmine Crockett. I got to ask this question, man. White liberals, what's wrong with y'all, man? Seriously. What is wrong with y'all? Seriously, this is ridiculous. Yeah, pretty ridiculous. Let me share it with you guys.
That I just kissed your sneakers. This is true. She's on camera saying she'll do the radio. I am. We're doing it. Future senator of the great state of Texas. I'm gonna miss Ted Cruz so much. He's so likable. Oh my God.
Our electorate behind us, all parts of our electorate. We need the media, and we rarely have the media. So how this story gets told is going to be a really important piece right now. They're going to have to go up against all of Trump's media apparatus, right? Social media owned by his cronies, legacy media that always has a little bit of a skew bias towards both sidesism. Both sidesism always benefits Republicans. So if by 2 years, the story isn't still Democrats cave, Schumer cave, both on the one big beautiful bill and caved on a 40-day shutdown, then that's going to be a really hard thing to navigate.
Well, I got to ask you, because your name has been floated all over Washington, D.C., and I'm sure all over Texas as a potential U.S. Senate candidate. What can you tell us?
Yeah, I am considering it, is what I can tell you. I think that we're living in unprecedented times. And I think an unprecedented candidacy is what we need to do in Texas if we're going to do something different. And so I think when you're talking about how expensive these races are, starting with someone who is known and has a brand that doesn't take from anybody, I think being a fighter for the people is what people are looking for.
That is where we are at in politics, guys. Why is she going to run? Because she's known and she has a brand. Does she have any of the right ideas? Has she accomplished anything in her life? Much like Zamboni, has he ever done anything other than run and win? Can he accomplish anything? But he's got a brand, and it's a slick brand, and she's got I'm telling you guys, I'm going to be for Florida secession. Like, there's just no way around it at this point. But if you want to see just the level of patheticness around the Democrats, I'm always looking for I always keep saying I'm looking for the lefties online, like who are the pundits online, not just the generic CNN people. There's this woman, Stephanie Miller. She's been a lefty progressive radio host for decades. I think I did her show way back when I was a lefty, probably over 10 years ago. This picture came out of her. She's kissing Jasmine Crockett's feet.
Oh my God.
But I'm told we're in a cult. We're the ones in a cult. Here's Trump on Crockett.
This Crockett, this is a very low IQ person. And I look at somebody that comes from Somalia where they don't have anything. They don't have police, they don't have military, they don't have anything. All they have is crime. And she comes in and tells us how to run our country. The Constitution says this, the Constitution, the whole thing is crazy.
All right, so it was a little bit of a strange segue that he did there. He's talking about
I don't think I've ever seen anything like that before. We'll start with you, Spaces. I'll give you the floor, kick this thing off. any of the clips you can discuss, but what's wrong with these white liberals for real? Kissing feet? That's what we doing now? Really?
You know, when I see Jasmine, especially with that particular the clip when she started speaking on by herself when they like zoomed in on her. Maybe I'm just overanalyzing, but the way her eyes are, it looks like she's I don't it looks like she's kind of out of it. It looks like she's like staring into space. I don't know how to phrase it, but I call her the crock pot to be sarcastic. When I listen to her speak, period, it's like I think about Stephen A. Smith and when he said, like, you don't go to work, your whole job is predicated on just being what's the word? Gosh, when you're just being specifically in opposition to what it is that's being said. Like you're not putting any
confrontational.
But yeah, you're not putting any particular legislation forward. You're not trying to say, all right, we're going to take this L and then move on to this. We're going to figure out how we can make these programs work. You're not doing anything. But if Quincy says she looks hot, yes, she does. But I just don't see her. I don't see what she really does or what she's done outside of her, I guess, her education and her not certificates, her diplomas. I guess maybe she has some sort of accomplishments outside of some low key or local accomplishments. But I don't understand why this person is, or maybe she was just, some new energy for the Democratic Party. But I just don't see why she's relevant, why she's even in conversation. She's not trying to do anything to push anything forward at all. She just goes and says Republicans are wrong, Trump is wrong, and all this stuff. And she never, like Mr. Wise said, she never has an actual debate with anybody. I've seen Byron Donald call her out. I invited you to a debate at least 2 or 3 times.
She wants no smoke with Byron Donalds. Are you kidding me? She wants no smoke with that brother.
Yep.
What? And I've noticed when she speaks, like you said, Mr. Wise, she only speaks in situations where she can just kind of like Dr. Umar, where she can just blabber until she gets tired of talking, or she has the possibility of controlling the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't see.
Yeah. The word you were looking for, Quincy threw it out there: contrarian. She is a contrarian to the Republican Party and to President Trump. Dion, I want to give you the next word on this. When what's the lady's name? Representative Lee jumped out there and said that Trump and the Republicans own the media, which is, I mean, goodness gracious, it makes me wonder, like, what are they watching? When they can come out and say something like this. What are your thoughts?
At first, I'd have to say that I hate Trump even gives her so much airspace because she is so not worth it, and I mean, it's wow. I think something has entered in. I think that a lot of people in the Democrat Party, a lot of these more vocal, the younger ones, they have entered into some kind of covenant or something to the demonic world. I mean, because the level of lunacy is just it's stunning. It really is. I don't know how anybody could think that Trump has control over the media. I mean, all the media does is prop up the Democrat Party. So I don't even know what in the world she was talking about. But yeah, as far as Jasmine Crockett, for Trump to keep calling her low IQ, she's not as dumb as she pretends to be, but she's part of a cult. So I mean,
no, I think she's playing I think she's a lot more intelligent than she lets off. I think she's playing a game. I think she's been. Celeste disagrees. I want to get Celeste in on this, but I think that she's been paid to act a certain way. Now, I'm not saying that she's some super high IQ individual either. I just think she's a politician that's been bought and paid for to, you know, come across a certain way. But Celeste may disagree. What are your thoughts, Celeste?
Yeah, I definitely think she is as dumb as she appears. And part of the reason I think that is because if you know, if I know what information you have, then if I know the input, then I can predict the outcome. And so if you look at the trajectory of how she was educated, then you can predict pretty much what she knows, because the likelihood is she does not know anything beyond her education. And Jasmine Crockett acts the way she does, and she governs the way she does with not putting forth any legislation or any particular policy initiatives, and is allowed to do that because her constituency, which is largely Black women, do not require that from her. They are satisfied with what she gives them, because what they want is representation. They want a Black face in a white space, and they want that Black space in the Black face in the white space to be contrarian and to be anti-Republican and anti-Trump. But I mean, that's what they are saying publicly, but secretly it's also anti-white. And that's what she does for them. And they don't require anything else, and they won't require anything else. And if you know, they gerrymandered her seat so that she no longer has that. She's being forced to run for Senate. But if she runs for anything else, and it will be those people who will line up for her and will continue to line up for her. And even if she can't get a seat, they'll find some other way to support her, because she has done for them what they want. They want her to be a Black face in a white space where she is vocally angry. And I think that they use Trump as Republicans as a way to lash out against white people.
It's a good take.
Josh,
I want to.
One last thing. I think that's why that woman's kissing her sneakers. That's
crazy.
That activity of public self-flagellation, which looked absolutely crazy.
It really
As my guy Jay Witt would say, that's crazy work. Crazy work. Seriously.
The first time I've seen that happen, real quick, I'm sorry, a white person getting down on the ground and kissing a Black person is with the Black Israelite.
I know. I'm sorry.
Y'all crazy. LJ coming through with the jokes. Joshua about to slide Jasmine some grace and understanding. Get in there, Josh.
I'm not. Oh, no, I'm not. I cannot stand Jasmine Crockett, man. She's a preacher kid. Like, she's a PK. She acts like a PK. Like, she acts like she is all that. Y'all can't tell me nothing. I'm going to do whatever I'm going to do. If somebody put in the chat, like, where's her accent? It's on the stage where she left it last time. So, I mean, it makes sense for somebody to kiss her feet, because that shows that they need some type of acceptance, and they ain't getting it from the real ones. If for you to kiss anybody's feet, you're going to choose her feet. Like, for real, like anybody's feet. I'd rather her wash this woman's feet, like the Bible says, instead of. But I to be honest, I don't really have too much nice things to say about Jasmine, so I gotta keep my mouth shut. Like, she makes Black women look bad, in my opinion. Yeah. She really makes Black women who work hard and who really want things to be the right way. She makes those Black women look horrible. And then she got all that weave in her head and all that makeup on her face. Like, she's trying to find this new identity and present a certain thing. It's like, before I even knew who she was, I'll see her on TV. I'm like, she looks uncomfortable. That big helmet of a head, hair on her head, and then she had all these big flowers and stuff all around her neck. I'm like, dude, she dresses like she's going to convocation for the Apostolic Church. Like, she's doing too much. Like, she's doing way too much. And for somebody to be a child of a pastor, though, like Space said about everything that you are voting for and standing for is liberal, that does not line up to the word of God. So are you the fruit, as Crystal would say? There's no fruit in what this chick is doing. All I see her doing is being mad, saying that she hates Trump, and cussing all over the place. And between her and Roland Martin, I be wanting to spit at my phone, bro. Like they both piss me off.
Yeah.
Like, I ain't gonna lie. They both be taking me off. Let me get off because I already ain't got nothing good to say about her.
Rolando.
I cannot stand Jasmine. She just fake to me. And my mom passed 5 years ago. And I just seen strong black women who kept it real my whole entire life. Like all of the black women in my family, they are just like straight up and down. They're not super liberal. It's great morals. Stand on your word, stand on God's word, and live your life the way you're supposed to. All that fake stuff, and so it's just not attractive to me. It's not attractive to me whatsoever. I think that's kind of like Rolando's speed. Like he likes that type. Oh, my bad. I thought I muted my phone. Moving on.
Rolando, what are your thoughts on Jasmine Crash Out?
Josh ain't never gonna learn his lesson. All right. Well, stop messing with me, Josh, because you know I get on you.
Even though you started, go ahead.
Actually, I actually look up to liberal white women, to be honest, because they are really, really smart. They found a way, all right, to basically brainwash black women, okay, with the feminism and you know, all that. All right. So they turn around and they do that. And this is like every time I told you, Wise, every time there's an issue that white women want to basically push, they run over and they play the oppression card with black women. Okay. They try to do that with Latino women, but it didn't work, you know, because they pulled up to the door and the Latin woman came to the door and was like, ¿Qué? And that was just pretty much it. We ain't even speaking the same language. So they couldn't get our women, you know, because there was a little barrier there. Thank God, you know. But they got black women and they got them hook, line, and sinker. All right. And this is what you're seeing. The Jasmine Crockett's and that kind of stuff all over the place. Pushing this liberal agenda that comes straight from white women. Okay? It's all a scam. For example, DEI. And they say, oh, DEI is great. It's going to benefit all these black and brown people and it's going to be great. But yeah, DEI was what, 86% white women?
4% black people.
Yeah. I saw those numbers and I was like, wow, look who's benefiting. Not surprising, liberal white women. They are a plague on this country. You know, because they're just out of line. They're so progressive that everything should be free, borders should be open, you should be able to come and go as you please. The economy don't matter, housing don't matter, you know, emergency rooms filled up. None of that matters. And then they get people like Jasmine Crockett to go into the black and brown communities and push their agenda. You know, so this is what we got right now. So when you see people like this, you just got to dismiss them. Al Sharpton has been doing this for years. She's just another version of him.
Facts.
All these race grifters that come and go pushing the same woke crap. The leaders of the past, the Huey Newtons, the Malcolm X, the MLKs, Marcus Garvey, all these guys, there's nothing like that ever, from what I see, ever coming back anytime soon. We're just stuck with all these wannabes and grifters and, you know, Dr. Umars, and behind all of them, there's white liberals, you know, financially backing all this.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Yeah.
Rolando, you're right. But that's been the thing for a long time, right? You can't find a organization that's quote unquote supposed to be for black folks or people of color that don't have some white liberals behind it, you know, and their money involved. You really can't. Crystal, what are your thoughts?
Jasmine Crockett is a gutter bunny plant that has been placed in
politics to placate to society's stereotypes, and white guilt exercises on her pride, and that is why that lady was kissing her feet. The government shutdown, we already know, was the Democrats' fault, so I don't even know why.
Yep.
But again, people don't do no research, so they listen to her foolishness. Texas better wake up, because she's talking about running for senator. If you want Texas to look like Palestine, y'all keep it up. But Republicans have never does not own media, so I don't know what they're talking about. That one lady just needs to sit down and be quiet. And again, when you understand that Jasmine Crockett works with that charlatan Frederick D. Haynes that calls himself a pastor, that all he talks about is social activism and not the gospel, we don't even need to entertain that. I love Josh, but there'll be no grace here, because the Lord said to call out the foolishness, and I'm calling out all of the foolishness. And she gets the gutter bunny stamp of approval, because she definitely is a gutter bunny. And lastly, let me see how many, because I had to look it up. She has put out a total of 400. She's co-sponsored over 400 bills. Was it 4? No, 35 bills. I'm sorry, 35 bills. And none of them have passed. And that is to date of November 12th, 2025. So exactly what is your purpose? Because you can't even get a chance to say, at least she works with people and she gets stuff passed for the community. You can't even get that. So what is the point of having her there? She's a waste of time, and she's just there, honestly, to continue to push that stereotype about Black women. So let her retire today.
The lone Texan that we have here on the panel, and I ask that you don't spend too long, on this topic though. Does Jasmine Crockett, will she get your vote as a senator in the state of Texas?
No, not at all. Nope. But let me just say this, and I know this is gonna sound mean. It's not, but it's just a joke. But every time I see her, she reminds me, if anybody watches or has ever watched the Boondocks, she reminds me of Uncle Ruckus, just the girl version.
Oh,
but but yeah, she's definitely a DEI. Jasmine Crockett getting her feet kissed by a white woman, like, what are we doing? This isn't that is not leadership. That is straight up weird, man. You got a city.
Can I ask you guys a question real fast? Can I ask you guys a question? If this picture is different, let's say, for instance, I don't know, let's say it's MGT. Could she have a Black woman kissing her feet and everybody applaud this and big it up and all this on X? Could that happen? Could we have, regardless of where she goes, could that happen?
Not at all.
Never, man. This would be probably one of the most top 5 viral moments of 2025.
Yeah, I think so.
They'd have KKK memes up in less than 60 minutes.
For real.
Maybe they should read Exodus 25, where the Lord said, "Do not bow down to anybody." So
Yeah.
You're bowing down, and you're kissing her feet. You're worshiping this woman. Again.
Jasmine said, "Nope, it'll be right. It'll be all right."
Yeah, cities would be burning, man. I'm telling you.
Matter of fact, even better than that, Mr. Wise. Imagine if it was Jasmine Crockett specifically kissing the feet of any white woman.
Yeah, that would go crazy.
This super quick point. This reminded me of, and I had to Google it, YouTube it real quick. Do you guys remember when Bishop Eddie Long got lifted up in the chariot and carried around the crowd, around the church?
I think so.
That's what this reminded me of. But I'm muting my mic.
Can I say something real quick?
Go for it.
This the teacher part of me. There are young Black women that see this and think it's okay. That's the problem I have.
Yep.
This is the example that's being set for the younger Black women and men, because they're going to allow that to happen around them. It's giving it like, oh, this is okay for this to happen. And if nobody checks that, then they're going to think this is what's supposed to happen to me. Which is that's what's bothering me. It's like, it's not the people that's just allowing it to happen, and that's our age. It's the young girls that's in college or in high school or whatever, and they seeing this like, oh, this is what white women supposed to be when I'm gonna be up here on TV and wear my weave and makeup, and these white women gonna kiss my feet. and I can do and say whatever I want to do. And that's not a good example. That's not a godly example, right?
No, it's not. It's not in either direction. It's not. It just, in my opinion, man, it was a cringe moment. In my opinion,
it's a little bit of a reflection of her district in Texas. You know, it's really up to them to stand up to this, and next time she comes up, to not vote that stuff in. You know, I can't do anything from Orlando, Florida. She ain't in my district. But if she was in my district, she'd definitely get a thumbs down.
She doesn't even live in her district.
Well,
Yeah,
right,
so,
exactly.
I
Yeah,
mean-
that's straight up. No, she doesn't
I
even
mean,
live. The
in
gerrymandering
Texas, you
is
gotta
something
vote her
that.
out.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. The gerrymandering is real. Like they've been doing this from underneath us, and we're not even aware because a lot of the times we don't pay attention to when it comes to vote for propositions and stuff like that. We don't pay attention to that, and that's how these Democrats have been doing this gerrymandering from underneath us and not even paying attention. We just pay attention to the presidential elections, the midterm elections, but never the other ones.
I don't even think people pay attention to the midterms. Historically, people hadn't really paid much attention to the midterms, and people obviously don't pay much attention to the local elections. They typically have very low turnout. I mean, we just saw it last week. We discussed it on Friday, but there's 10 million people that live in New York City, but only 2 million people came out to vote in an election that it's a pretty pivotal election, and I just don't think people care that much. And I think a lot of folks are focused on, kitchen table issues, how they're going to pay their bills from one day to the next. And they just don't have a lot of time to, pay attention to the local elections.
Wise, can I just say, if y'all are there, y'all go look in Texas, in District 30, go check out my boy, Sheldon Daniels. That's what y'all need to go check. Check him out.
Sheldon Daniels. I interviewed him. He was on the channel, man, I guess at this point, man, it was a while back, maybe 6 or 7 months ago. But yeah, good dude. Good dude. All right, I want to keep it moving, but before I do so, a couple of super chats are actually, we have the coolest dude joining the ARP family. Thank you very much for joining the ARP family. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Shout out to the Energizer Bunny, 007 with the $5 super chat says, these Dems say the same things because they serve the same master and it's not the Lord Jesus. Thank you very much for that. I would agree with you there. Yeah. All right. We're going to keep it moving. We're going to lighten it up just a smidget. I know we, kind of get into a little bit of political conversations, but I want to keep it moving here. And I want to shift gears just a bit. And I want to dive into this intriguing clip right here. I don't know if you guys had a chance to see it, but we talked about it maybe about a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. But I'll say it again right here. If a woman is truly into you, she'll overlook a laundry list of flaws. A laundry list of flaws. I mean, we're talking men with multiple baby mamas, maybe a stint behind bars. Heck, at this point, they're marrying dudes that are in prison. It's pretty crazy. They'll even deal with a dude that's a professional couch surfer or, affectionately known as a hobosexual. They'll deal with those types of guys. The question that is on everyone's mind is, why are women passing over dependable good guys, for these alluring but obvious red flags? I got a couple clips to share with you. One of them, I believe, is a skit, but I still think it's funny because I still think it holds true. Another one is, this little clip of these people out on a date. I want to share this with you guys, and then we'll get into it.
What you laughing about?
When I met you, woman.
How you doing?
Good. Couldn't help but notice it.
You look beautiful.
Thank you.
What?
You want to walk?
That's your girlfriend?
Yeah.
No.
I mean,
yeah.
Yep. You gonna have to walk, bro. Like that's.
Wait, how long y'all been talking though?
If we ever made love.
You get your Instagram?
You want it? Nah, it look like you want it.
Yeah.
For real? Nah, I was. It's just the prank. I was just playing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Messed up, yeah.
That's messed up.
I have no kids. What about you?
I have 8 kids.
What?
Yeah, I know. I forgot this. I don't like telling people this.
You have 8 kids?
Yeah, I have 3 baby mothers.
Oh wow.
And then I started young.
Wow. I mean, honestly, with
They
your
taken care of though.
with your genetics, you should have 8 kids. We need more of that. You're a man and a fine specimen of one, and I think that you should.
You see how stupid they get when there's an attractive man in front of them? And he's 6'8". I think his name is Mr. 6'8". I don't know if this is true, but it supports my point that I've been making for quite some time. When I hear these guys get online and go, oh, these type of women are disrespectful when they be talking about black women. They be talking to you any kind of way and wooty wooty woo. Or when any man talks about, oh, these women be in the house talking to me crazy, wooty wooty woo. She don't respect me, or she don't text me back. She don't want to act right. She don't want to go to my program, this, that, and the third. You know, she's not attracted to you. And I've made this video so many times, but hopefully this like gleaming example can just really like show you. Maybe you're batting out of your league. Maybe you're taking the whole chase women shit too far because you're actually chasing her and trying to convince her to like you. I have never dealt with blatant disrespect to my face by a woman I was romantically involved with. Never.
Alrighty. I almost feel like I should start with the young lady, but I kind of want to get in there with Rolando. Rolando, we'll give you the first word on this. You can go with it wherever you want to go. Thoughts?
Oh man, wise. This is classic hood stuff right here. Okay, every man knows that when a woman likes you, okay, chicken wing and fries is just fine. Okay, when a woman don't like you, all of a sudden you got to take her to Roof Chris. You got to take her to, all these high-end Michelin star restaurants. Every man knows that that's the truth. Okay, the only men who deny it are the good-looking men. Okay, but any mediocre or less than mediocre looking man knows this to be true. Okay, and the chick just proved it at the table. A woman nowadays picks a man the way a man picks a woman. Okay.
Can you elaborate on that for us? Explain.
Yeah,
Explain.
that's one of the biggest problems in society going on right now. Because a man used to look at a woman, first thing he would notice is her beauty. And then from there we would start to dissect and see what else that we see. Okay. When a woman would see a man, the first thing she's looking for is for safety, provision, protection. Can he provide that over a long term? Okay. But now the problem is that women have hit the work market, they've become masculine, and now they're looking for the same qualities that men are looking for. And that's why we're bumping heads in the dating market, because men want ultra feminine women. Women who are working just as hard as men develop masculine traits. Now all of a sudden, you're wondering why y'all can't get together. Because at the end of the day, no man is trying to get on no woman's plan. Period. I don't care how much money you make. I could be making 50,000, you could be making 100,000. All right? You still ain't gonna tell me what to do. That's just how men think, and that's how we're built. Okay? And that's why
Real
you're seeing
men.
all this BS in the dating market. Because women are looking for the same thing that men are looking for. Stop that. Realize what it is that you offer to a man. Stop taking advice about men from other women. Okay? Go to the men in your family if you want advice about a man. A man's very simple, okay? Have sex with him, feed him, and don't nag him. We're very simple.
No, he ain't lying. He ain't lying.
We're very simple. Look, it shocks women because women are so complex. I feel this. You know how when a woman tells you a story, Wise, if I tell Wise a story, right? I say, hey, Wise, man, today I went by the store, picked up a sweater, boom, that was it. Wise be like, cool, man. That's the end of our conversation. A woman tells that story. Well, you got to understand, I had to get in the car. Then I stopped by and I got some gas and I grabbed a Diet Coke. And the lady behind the counter looked at me funny. And I was just wondering because, it's my time of the month. So then I got back in the car and then somebody cut me off. It's like, what's all that? We're not that complex. If women knew how simple we actually were, dude, they really couldn't handle it mentally. They'd have a literal breakdown because they think we think like them. We don't.
Yeah. Yeah. Crystal, I'll give you the next word on this if you'd like it. I got a question to ask you. You seen the young lady. Dude said he got 8 kids, 3 different baby mothers. She was still sitting there, and she didn't have any intent on leaving. None. It's a bunch of red flags, but she had no intent on leaving. That's why I say it all the time, man. If she is into you, if she finds you attractive, if she's into you, she will put up with just about anything.
You know, Crystal Beyond Labels does not. I deal with truth and not trends. I keep it real 100, right? My ex had 7 children, 3 baby mamas, and I didn't care. Listen, love the man. He was amazing. Just saying. Couldn't tell me nothing. And listen, he knew what he was supposed to be doing, and I'm not talking about the bedroom, y'all. I'm just talking about it in general.
I'm like, where are you going with this?
In general. I was like, wait a minute. We only got enough room for one Rolando. Okay. Wait a minute.
Serious. I'm like, man, he knew what he was supposed to be doing. Like, okay, this is a family-friendly show, Crystal. Family-friendly, okay?
I'm talking about that he was a man's man, meaning he fixed things. I love a man that knows how to use his hands, that I can learn from. I like men. That's the type of men that I like. Like the funny thing is, I'll always say, you can never ask me what my type is physically, because I don't actually have.
No, I gotta call you out, Crystal. That's a lie, because you don't like me. Okay, and I renovated this whole room back here behind me. I just had to throw that out there. So I'm gonna call out that lie right now. Right now, that's a lie, Wise. Okay, that's a lie.
I already told you, Orlando. After the trauma that I have from the Puerto Rican, I never want another one. I'm good. One Puerto Rican.
He done ironed his tie for you, Crystal. And this is what you gonna do to him?
Listen, nah. One Puerto Rican, and his machismo was enough for me. I don't need a second Puerto Rican.
Now all of a sudden, why is everybody looking for a carpenter? You know what I mean?
No, honestly, you know what it is?
A carpenter like Jesus?
I grew up
exactly.
I grew up with men in my family, and that's the thing. I don't know about all women, so I can't speak on all women, but I can say for me, because I had such stand-up men in my family, men that were men of their words, men that were men of God, men that knew how to use their hands, because my grandfather, he built a lot of the furniture that was in our house. My father is a man that works with his hands. I have never been give me the man in the 3-piece suit and it's hating corporate America. I love a man that knows how to use his hands, because he know how to use his hands when he know how to use his hands. I'm just saying. So I prefer a man that knows how to use his hands. Listen, the one time I decided to date the man with the 3-piece suit, that was the Puerto Rican, and that was when there was problems. You see, there you go. The suit was the trauma that came with it all. So you got me off thing. So number that was number 1. Number 2, I don't understand the man with the Hugh Hefner bathrobe that was in there. He was speaking facts, but I didn't understand the Hugh Hefner video that he was doing there. But he was speaking facts. I've seen too many women walk away from men, especially with the what do you call those things? Those type of videos, those pranks. I've seen so many here in Atlanta, because there's so many women that are willing to just walk away from a good man for something shiny that they think is shiny, and it's fool's gold. And I never understand. I'm like, if you got a good man, you better hold on to your good man. Why are you Wise? We talked about this. I think you, me, and Celeste, when we saw the videos of the women that were leaving their good husbands, and I was like, why do you keep leaving your good husband? You got a good husband at home. You want to come out here and play in the dating pool that has been peed on 1,000 times over? Why are you coming to this dating pool? Stay home with your good husband. I don't understand. Like, I'm so confused. So my thing is, these women need to sit still. You got a good man, a man that can fix stuff, a man that is a man of his word, a man, listen, he will take care of you. That is all you should be concerned about. If his eyes ain't searching everywhere, then there you go. you stick to your man and stop looking for what else is out there, because it's fool's gold. And I'm gonna tell y'all right now, as a woman that dated a fine man that was in a 3-piece suit, let me give you two real quick, Wise.
You get the ground on us with that one, huh?
The first one was the hobosexual. The hobosexual that Wise was talking about. He moved into my house without me knowing, okay? Because he was fine.
How does that happen? How does someone move into your home without you knowing? How does that happen?
I'm gonna make this real quick. The dude
She got windows, don't she?
he came to now y'all. I'm like Dion. We vegetarians over here. We not playing in the meat. But old dude came to my birthday party, and he came with his duffel bag, and he said, instead of him having to drive all the way back to the other side of town for my birthday party, I said, yeah, you can stay here. You can stay in because I had a pull-out couch in the living room, so a pull-out bed. I said, you can stay there. And I went to my room. My sister and I lived together. She was in her room, and the man, when he came Monday and it was time for him to go home, he didn't go home. And then while I'm at work, he calls me and says, oh, by the way, I gave up my apartment. What do you mean you gave up your apartment? What about? Okay. So do not fall for the 3-piece suit. That's fool's gold. Number two, the second one that every woman that has seen this, I have shown them the ex that was the Puerto Rican. Every woman has lost their minds looking at this man because he is so fine. Girl, Krista, how you had him? And he was a VP of this, and he's so fine. I promise y'all, he was the most psychotic, and I'm not a bitter friend. He was a psychotic, narcissistic manipulator that gaslit me to the point where I thought I was going crazy. And I'm telling y'all right now, you better stay away from those men. Stop looking for fine, and he wearing a 3-piece suit. You better find a good man, a God-fearing man that knows the word of God, that is a man of his word. That is who you better find him broke and giving me and putting things in my name, Southern charisma, and then leaving me with like a $40,000 bill that I had to take care of because the man was full of crap. Okay, so when I say again, you better stop. You better stop, Joshua.
What?
Put on my suit. But I'm just telling y'all better stay away from those men. Stay away from those men, because especially if a man that you think, oh, he's fine and he got money, a lot of the times he treats you like you are a toy that he puts up on his shelf and he brings down whenever he feels like it. I want y'all to learn real quick. So that was just my little stint. I didn't mean to rant, Wise, but I have to let women know, when you got a good man, you better hold on to that good man. Don't be out here looking at that shiny stuff.
Did Ronaldo did he move into your house?
Rolando can never get in my house, sir. There is a
made a door to the back of your house and moved in.
This conversation got good. I done went and got me some popcorn.
There are cameras, there are dogs. There are no more men moving up in my house. No, absolutely not. No more hobosexuals. I didn't even know there was a name until Wise kept saying hobosexual. I was like, for real? That's what he was called? And I had to drive him to the bus stop so he could get out my house and made sure he got back to New York. I had to make sure he showed me that the New York skyline. So, and then I moved so he wouldn't know where I live. That's
Crystal, Testify said Rolando has his own house.
Amen, Rolando. Amen for your beautiful house and the beautiful work you did, and you will make some woman so very happy. Yeah, but your Puerto Ricanness might drive me insane, so I'm good. Love you though.
Well, listen. Why y'all laughing? I didn't even say anything yet.
Because she left you speechless.
No, because we know something coming.
No,
we know something coming.
Listen. I love Crystal. It's a very thin line between love and hate. Okay, just like my favorite song. Some weeks she loved me, some weeks she hate me. You know, so I'll compare it like this. If I ever went to Crystal house, I would leave with two things: a bunch of scratches all over my face and neck, and then a bunch of apology kisses on my cheek. Because she'll actually feel bad after she scratched me up. You know what I mean? So she give me
I
a
am
few
not
kisses
violent.
and send me on my way. Girl, you from New York. I grew up across the
Rolando,
water from you.
Rolando,
I know them New
Rolando.
York
I
girls.
am
I'm
from New
telling
York.
you.
I'm from New York, and my
Vaseline.
family's from the islands. That's why so many men.
Yeah,
That's
but
why
you grew up in
the
New
man didn't want
York.
to leave my
Okay.
house.
And you grew up in New York in the 80s, all right? I know how y'all get down. Vaseline and razor blades. I tell you that all the time.
I mean, I
Wise.
did.
I'm
I
telling you.
I did. Yeah, I did.
I'm telling you, you're gonna leave
So
there
you saying the New
scratched up.
Yorkers are a little rough around the edges? Is that what you're saying?
Yes,
Just a little.
Yes, but I'm a Caribbean woman first and foremost, and I was raised to treat my man as like my king, and he's supposed to treat me as his queen. So that's why the hobo didn't want to get out, and I had to figure out how to get him out my house.
I still
Did
ain't
you wear that
understood,
sweater when
how
you kicked him out?
How did he get? Like I said, Wise, he came to my birthday because I had a birthday party. He had his duffel bag and all that stuff. I guess the apartment that I thought was his apartment wasn't actually his apartment. I guess that was his whatever that was. And when he moved into the house, well, when he came to the party and he was to go back home, he never went back home. And he said he gave up the apartment. And he had this elaborate story. He was pathological. He had this elaborate story that the feds had froze his accounts and he couldn't get into his accounts to get money to get another place. And I was trying to be a good Christian woman. And I tried, I didn't want to kick him out and throw him out in the street. So I gave him some time. But then, my patience ran thin, and I had to get rid of him. He had to get out.
That was going to be my question. How long was that time?
That was from my birthday's July. He left in September.
Crystal, can I ask you a question?
Yes, Joshua.
Did you have your shoulder out like you do right now?
Oh, what is it? You're my shoulder.
I'm just asking a question.
It's the shoulder. It's the shoulder.
If I would have saw some smooth skin like that on your birthday, I probably would have tried to move in too.
I just cannot.
Dude pulled up with the duffel bag. You didn't find that suspicious? You didn't find that suspicious?
No, because I thought he was just coming to switch outfits because it was.
Hey, Wise, her shoulder was blocking her view. She couldn't see the duffel because the shininess of the cocoa butter on her shoulder. She couldn't.
Oh my God!
You got that sweater in all colors. I guarantee you right now.
Wise, at the end of the day, we have to come to the realization that we're a nation of liars. Okay. When we're going on a date and we're sitting across from each other, ain't nobody telling the truth. All right, the man could lie about how
come
much
on
money
now, Rolando.
he made.
Don't speak for yourself, bro. Speak for yourself, man.
No, hold up. Let me make my point, Wise. Let me make my point. You can have the man on one side. He may be trying to lie about all types of stuff. How much money he made, where he went to school, this, that, and the other. And you looking across the table and the woman's lying to you without even talking because the hair ain't real, the makeup ain't real, the nails ain't real. She ain't really that tall. You know what I mean? So that's what I mean when I say we a nation of liars. Everybody's lying. We just need to come to grips and tell the truth.
Like Wise said,
all right,
speak
and
for
we'll
yourself,
all be better off.
Who you see is who you get with Crystal. You either love her or you don't like her, but that's your business.
Is that not what the good book preaches?
Every bit of this belongs to Crystal. All this.
I heard that.
Belongs to Crystal.
Because when I got married, the first thing I told my girl, I'm like, yo, ain't no budget for weave. So you need to learn how to do your own hair. You know what I mean? You need to grow it out. You need to nurture it. We're going to do like Coming to America. We're going to put some fruits and berries in it. You know what I'm saying?
Berries.
You know what I'm saying? We're going to get you right. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't got a weed budget. You know what I'm saying? We ain't doing all that.
This dude said ain't no budget for weave. Celeste, I want Celeste to get in there. What are your thoughts, Celeste? Good Lord.
So first of all, I just want to say I am here for the inter-show fashion show that is going on. And I am going to stop thinking, see, half my clothes are packed because I'm moving. I might have to show up here doing something different as well. So here's the issue. This is a very, very complex issue. And the issue is that men, by and large, have not changed. However, society and women have. And Rolando is absolutely correct when he says that women are looking for and using the same metrics in terms of dating that men are looking for.
Yeah.
What is not being mentioned, and that is true, and it's not just beauty, but I could say beauty is certainly beauty in a man is very important or highly praised, but also things like confidence, charisma, personality. Women love those things in men. So you've got that going on. And then you've got society that has socially engineered women into a place that the traditional things that a woman would get with a man for, like providing and protection, if she's earning at a certain level or if she's been educated in a certain way, she does not really feel that she needs them. So now you've got these people who are ill-equipped. The man is ill-equipped in the sense that the woman he wants, what does he have to offer her if the things that he has developed in himself, he's developed himself as a provider, he's developed himself as a protector, and she has developed herself in such a way to say those aren't really things that I'm looking for. What I'm looking for is somebody who's interested. I'm looking for someone who's attractive. I'm looking for someone who's charismatic or who's funny or who has all of these other attributes that he has not developed because he's worked on himself to become a protector and a provider. Now you've got these two people sitting across the table from each other trying to date. The other thing is, while I can agree that yes, if a woman likes you, she will put up with a whole lot. The same is true for men. Men will put up with a lot from a woman that they really like. So I think that's probably just a human quality. But what I do think is where this sort of comes down is this is the reason, particularly for women, and I believe I said this last week. Women do not like lots of men. And I think that's very difficult for men to understand because men so easily like lots of women. So women will do almost anything for a man that she likes because her ability to like more than him is slim to none. These are her last chances. She has a very few chances to like a man. And a man who walks up to you and says, "Well, I can provide and I'm a good guy and look what I have to offer, and you should like me." You're right. We should. We don't, but we should. The fact is, we don't like lots of men. It's a very, very small amount of men, and the characteristics and the tapestry that's woven on why that man becomes a guy you like, no one really knows. That's the mystery of life. No one knows why you like who you like, but you do. And so I think that we have to understand it's not just women are so stupid and they'll do anything for a guy they like. Yes, that is true. But the reason they will is because they know that they're not going to like someone else for it's going to be few and far between the time they can like someone else. And so you've got women who don't like a lot of men. You have men who have developed themselves for things that women have been socially engineered to no longer want. And that's why we have the relationship mess that we have.
Hey Josh, y'all can hear me right? My
Yeah.
audio is good.
Yep, we can hear you.
Hey, when Buddy knocked on Crystal's door with that duffel bag, she answered the door like this.
Now we know.
How may I help you? Happy birthday to me.
Dion, what are your thoughts? Are you sticking around, with Mr. 6'8", with 8 kids by 3 different women? You hanging around with this guy?
No, I'm not, because one of the first things that I think about is if I end up falling in love with this guy and we get married, all my money is going to go to take care of his children by all these other women. That's the first thing that I would think about. And And then the next thing right behind that would be all the drama from the baby mamas. I can't do it. I'm a no drama kind of chick. I can't do it. I can't do it. No.
No, you won't.
I mean,
you won't spend your money on that. You won't spend your money on that, D. You gonna spend your money on bail. Go ahead.
On bail.
Just wanted to point that out.
Helping him with his child support payments.
Child support payments.
Right.
Maybe. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's just too much drama for me. And I'm a person that, I don't know, maybe it's St. Louis, but like earlier y'all were mentioning, or Wise, you mentioned, why are women ditching the good guys and going for, well, maybe that's something that the younger crowds do, but like the good guys are few and far between around these parts. I don't know where
Well,
they
Dion,
at.
I got to say this.
Where they at?
And Kevin Samuels talked about this way back when. The problem isn't that, older women, and I don't say this to denigrate, the sisters in the chat and the sisters on the show that are, around my age, let's just call it what it is. It's not that y'all ignore the good dudes right now. It's that you ignored good dudes 25 years ago when there were some good dudes around.
No, I didn't.
Thank you.
I'm not necessarily saying you, I'm just saying in general. And I know this to be true because, I know a few people who have had an opportunity to get with some dudes and they were too square, too lame, didn't have no money. And they were chasing dope boys and things of that nature
like the nerd
at that
'cause
time
I was
frame,
a nerd.
opposed to the dude that is going to school, the dude that is doing the right things, but he just don't have anything right now because he's not out in the streets. I know this to be true. I know women that chose hood dudes. They were in college, ignored college dudes, and chose hood dudes over the dudes they were in college because the hood dudes in the street had money because they were in the streets. Now it doesn't last long, and typically those dudes go to jail. And they ignored the dudes that were in class with them that didn't have any money. Maybe they worked a little part-time job or something along those lines, but that dude couldn't take him anywhere, couldn't do anything for her at that time.
I had one like so-called handsome, popular boyfriend, and that sucker gave me a run for my money. And after that, I was like, absolutely not. Where are the nerds at? Where they at?
Right?
Because he was fine. He was popular.
Crystal, stop it. Don't be acting like you was in the nerds back in the day. I don't want to hear it. And you too, Dion. Don't be out here flexing, talking about y'all were into the nerds and stuff back in the day. I don't want to hear it.
Man, after that dude, I was.
Wise, but
after that one.
No, but I was a nerd, so of course I was part of the nerd. I was a nerd.
Hey, so I mean, there are some dudes that are nerds too. Guess what? They're not looking at, and a lot of the dudes that are nerds aren't looking at nerdy chicks. They're looking at the chicks that are completely out of their league. And unfortunately, you have a lot of women doing the same exact thing, looking at dudes that are out of their league, and then they get played.
That's it, Dion. Wise just answered it. We were the nerds, and the men weren't looking at us, and then we reached to this point because
that's what it was.
We were the nerds. They weren't trying to.
And I'm still a nerd today, and proud of it.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
So
y'all wasn't checking for no nerds. Celeste, get in there, Celeste. And I know you don't be flexing either. I know you wasn't checking for no nerds either.
No. Still ain't. No.
Shoot, the nerds got the money.
You hear that? She said, "Still ain't." Come on now.
They're so smart. I love learning from them.
No, I didn't say I didn't like someone who was smart. I mean that's a different thing. But no. But again, you're absolutely right. We are all looking for something that is a little bit unattainable for us. Now, I was never somebody that liked the hood dude. I'm not a danger person. So I don't like anything that looks like it's about to bring any danger,
any harm my way. Right.
That was never attractive to me. But if you are, very charismatic, if you were funny, if you were really interesting, you could have my attention. You definitely could get my attention. And I was never somebody, unlike the women you described, I was never interested in thinking about a man in terms of money. I never, ever, ever thought of a man in terms of money. I never did. And probably the reason for that is I never, ever thought I'd be without money. So I never thought that was necessarily an important. I see you, Space. I never thought that was like such a defining characteristic. So if you were like, yes, I can pay your bills or I can do all of that, I was so like, yeah, well, okay.
I'm
That's
about to ask you for some tithes and offerings.
I know that was somewhat of a subtle flex, wasn't it, Spaces? There's a subtle flex right there.
Right? Hold on. Slight flex. Okay, I see you.
No,
listen, Dave Chappelle's like summed it up the best. He said a man's test in life, a woman's test in life, it will be material. A man's test in life will be a woman.
correct,
We
but
need to
material
understand our
isn't
natures.
necessarily financial. Material wasn't, and I heard him say that and I loved it. Material, I don't think is necessarily financial. So I was not a woman that was like, I'm looking for a man to elevate me in my life and all of those things. And to be honest, again, I think many women aren't, because the society is not talking to women in those ways. Society is not telling women, you need a man to help you build a better life. You need a man because for him, your earnings may not be. Society is telling women that the world is your oyster. You can go out here and have anything you want. There are no barriers to your success. It is only how hard you're willing to work and all of those things. You've got to understand these women are not women my age, and I'm talking generations before and certainly the generations after, are not thinking to themselves, I need protection and provision from a man. But men live in a rational and sane society. They understand what the environment demands of them. So they develop themselves to meet the demands. And those demands are for provision and for protection. But that is not what women are out here necessarily looking for. I'm not saying they don't want it. They want you to be broken. Yeah, you may want that. And like I said, you may want that now. And you may have even been one of the few that wanted that early on in life. You may be. But most women are out here trying to discover themselves. Remember, Oprah told us all to find our bliss, not happiness, not well-being, not sanity. I mean, a ridiculous type of happiness called bliss that never ends, that never ceases. They're looking for all types of things that are not conducive to the things that make for a normal, good relationship. We're not.
I have a question. And I want to get Robert in there as you might be the only man on the panel that has daughters. What are you teaching your daughters in reference, to this situation? Because one of them, if I'm not mistaken, one of your daughters is an adult, right? The other's in high school. Is that accurate?
Yeah, and the other two are one's in elementary, the other one's in high school.
Oh, so you're a girl dad for real? 4 girls?
Yeah.
Holy smokes!
Three girls.
Three girls. Okay.
Girls, yeah.
So what are you teaching? What are you teaching your daughters?
Well, and it's fortunate but unfortunate because they're gonna have a hard time finding a man because I set the standards pretty high, and I know with the way the world is shaping up right now, it's gonna be hard for them to actually find that type of man. But I'm teaching them that I don't care what that man does as a job or career, so long as that he's a provider, a protector, and whatever he does, he takes pride and has ambition. So, like, if I'm just gonna use this as an example. If he's gonna be a sacker all his life, he better be the best sacker that existed. You know what I mean? Or at least strive to do that. And
hey, Robert, Papa Di said you also need to make sure they stay away from guys with duffel bags.
But yeah, for real. But the thing is, Wise, and a lot of what's going on, unfortunately, it was a manipulation of the culture. Because I grew up also, between the 95s to 2000, early 2000s, and it was a big culture to be, and even in the 80s, right, when NWA came out, it was very influential. A lot of people thought that was a positive role model for men, and especially because we're masculine. and women got attracted to that, and they're looking for all these hood thugs, right? And the problem is they're overlooking at the guys that are actually the Ice Cubes writing the lyrics, not necessarily living the hood life, but because that's what he was doing, right? He was just a good kid in school writing these songs, and then became a rapper and portrayed this whole gangster rap deal, right? And then guess what? All these kids are starting to want that. But anyways, back to how I raise my daughters. I make sure that I let them know that it's okay to if that guy is worth something, to submit to him, because if that's within your desire, right? But he has to be that man that shows you love, that cares for you, that tries to protect you. The moment he sways on that, that's not a man. And that's why you have to scrutinize when you're going to the part of, I guess, courtship, when he's trying to take you out to dinner or something. Like, you have to like scrutinize him. How were you raised? How was your parents? You have to find that out at first before you get into like falling in love. But real quick, Wise, this is real quick. I know it take long, but there was this thing that my dad showed me that I tried with my eldest, and it seemed to work. And it never made sense to me when I would see, because I have two sisters, and it would never make sense why my dad did this. And now that I'm a father, and I asked him, and he explained, and oh my gosh, my dad is a genius. But my sisters would bring boyfriends over, right? And when my dad, and I even knew it, they weren't good men, right? Like they were like thugs, hoodlums, right? And my dad would be like, "Hey, you want a beer? Come hang out." He was treating them so nice, dude. Like, he was like, "You want to watch the game?" And this and that. So every time he would come, he would want to hang out with my dad. And then my sister broke up with him. So then once my sisters bring these guys that I guess, they were good guys in his opinion, he ignored them. He didn't even, like, when he's like, oh, hi, how are you doing? All right. And then, he ignored them. And I used to always like think like, what the heck, like, why are you making these bad guys into your friends, and the good guys, you're just ignoring them, right? And so one day, I asked him, now as being a father, my dad goes, listen, keep your enemies close, keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. Well, that also applies to who's dating your daughter, because tell you what, you make him your friend to the point where he wants to hang out with you more than her, that's going to turn her off, and she's going to dump him. And it works. I've tried it. Right now my daughter has this boyfriend who was like a band kid, that she, and I used to say to my wife, he likes Felicity. I already knew it, from middle school all the way to high school. I was like, and now they're dating, and and he gave his life to Christ. He's now, being in the ministry, and it's working,
Okay. Look at that. A little Jedi mind trick.
Right.
Yeah.
A little Jedi mind trick. Alrighty. Yeah. Let's keep it moving. I have one last subject to discuss with you guys. And this is really around the men, but I think the ladies will be able to add a lot to this. Kevin Durant is on the Pivot podcast. Oh, and they're asking him, why is he not like every other athlete out here? And he's got a bunch of, baby mamas out there. And in my opinion, I think he was asked a pretty ridiculous question. But I want you guys to check this out, man. And I have 2 clips I want to share with you guys.
I was hot about it. And you know what else? And I get it too. You know what else I'm hot with you about? Seriously, it's the one thing. You have not blessed the world with your DNA.
It's a pretty weird statement to say, right? For a man to say that to another man, that's pretty weird.
We can't get a little Kevinita. Nah, bro, we need this to continue, bro. You the only one on Netflix without an old lady.
I got a nephew, man.
Bro, you don't think, bro. And I'm telling you,
got the same blood, man.
KD, you don't want to be the 65-year-old man at the high school graduation. They calling you grandpa. Man, you gotta put a little Kevin in the world.
Nah, man. When that time gonna come, it's gonna come, man.
He got like a little Durant Springman or something like that. What's the?
Yeah, man. I got a lot of kids out here, to be honest.
They
Man.
named
People that's
that.
looking up to me, man. I got to set a good example every day, bro.
Set a good example. Get you a woman and set a good example in the bedroom.
Chill, man. Hey, dog. Hey, it wouldn't be.
Man, I was gonna play the second clip, but I want to start with the fellas. Robert, it sounded like you want to go in on it. That was a little disappointing to hear that. It was a little disappointing to hear that. But what are your thoughts, Robert?
Man, Kevin Durant is, he's a role model. He at least in my opinion, he's a very good basketball player. He does do a lot. Like a lot of these uplifting stuff for the community and the youth. I don't know if y'all knew that, but he's a good guy. And the fact that this guy, I mean, I get, it sounded like he was trying to come from a place of like, hey, we need, but it's just that wasn't called for. That was so messed up, like you're making a positive thing to have baby mamas. And, he's trying to be an example of, just, hey, when it happens, it happens. And then when he told them, you don't want to be the 65-year-old in school thinking that you're a grandpa. I mean, his response was cool. So what, I mean, I don't know. I just find that very, like you said, it's disturbing. Why would you ask him that, Another grown man asking him, be an example in the bed,
Yeah. Well, my I guess the concern that I had is he was asking him to have children, but not saying, hey, man, you need a wife. Like, why aren't you married yet? Why aren't you, settled down yet? Why haven't you, found a wife, you know what I'm saying? And played that role. And then, okay, have your children and things of that nature. Why are we trying to normalize baby mamas and baby daddy behavior? Why is that something that needs to be normalized? And what we do know about a lot of these athletes out there, NBA, Major League Baseball, and the likes, they tend to go bankrupt after they finish playing, and a lot of the reason behind that is they have a lack of discipline. They have a bunch of baby mamas, and they're living a lifestyle that they can't afford once they're finished. And 5 years after the fact, they're typically broke. A large percentage of these guys. And Kevin Durant has earned almost $600 million in his career just from playing basketball. And I respect the fact that he doesn't have a bunch of baby mamas out here, and he's trying to protect the hard-earned money, that he's earned. It comes from a two-parent-led household, and it's obvious that he was raised right, properly. Josh, I want you to get in there, man. What are your thoughts?
I'm trying not to clown Crystal right now. She being a celebrity, but we ain't gonna go there. Maybe Rolando, he'll appreciate this. We see the comedy of it, and then we see the serious part of it. The comedy part is, let me make it awkward and ask you a real question to ease something as a man. Don't you want to push your legacy? That's really what he's basically saying. Like, don't you want to push your legacy? He just had a weird way of doing it that most conservative people will be like, what the H is, what are you talking about? If you know his history, you probably know the other stuff that he said on that show that's absolutely crazy, especially when he said to Kevin Hart that him and his wife go to nude beaches and stuff. That was a whole other thing. Me being a man who was raised by his mother, my father would come in every once in a while. I was never taught to be all over the place. It was all about having good character. And some people ask me questions, why don't you have kids? And probably like Durant, like, I haven't found a person, like he's probably saying, I haven't found a person that's worth me putting my seed into to carry on his legacy. In his perspective, also, he's probably dealing with a lot of people that want the fame and they want the money from him, but not want him. So it's probably hard for him to find love and trust people, right? It's very rare to hear other guys speak from that perspective too, because some dudes, I don't think a lot of men have kids on purpose. I think some people have kids out of accident. So it's kind of crazy that he doesn't have kids. I didn't know that he didn't have any kids and he wasn't married. I don't like space. I don't follow sports. Like everybody, you know, these cats' stats and all that stuff. I don't know anything about Kevin Durant. It's going to be sad. I don't even know what team he plays for. That's how bad it is for me. like I don't know anything. But I do respect his response. Like he kept it mature. That was a good way of responding. And man, how old is? Do we know how old Kevin Durant? Like how
he's
old
under
is he?
40, over 30. He's in his 30s.
He still has time.
Yeah, he's not an old guy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's plenty of dudes that get married, you know, in their 40s and 50s and have children. It's not that big of a deal, you know.
Wise, I got a question for you. If you was talking to Kevin about that question that was asked, what would you talk to him about from that specific?
Well, one, I would let him know, hey, I definitely appreciate your answer. And the way he's been able to navigate the world of being a celebrity, being a multimillionaire, having women, you know, throw themselves at him. I mean, we know that this happens. They throw themselves, and the fact that he has shielded himself from putting himself in the uncomfortable and sometimes volatile position of becoming a celebrity athlete, baby father, and having your name ran through the mud, having your family's name ran through the mud. I mean, we see what's going on with PJ Washington. I mean, I think we all saw those clips, you know, of what happened, you know, with him. And what's the young lady's name that he's dealing with? Do you know, Spaces?
Brittany Renner.
There you go. Brittany Renner. Yeah, I forgot her name. But, and there's so many other stories out there, right? The one thing that I can say that I would tell him, one is, dude, as long as you're in this situation that you're in, no different than what I would tell military members that are in deployable status, stay single. As long as you're traveling 60, 70% of the time, you really don't have the time to focus and dedicate to a wife, to a family, the way that you actually need to. So I would tell him keep operating exactly the way he's operating. And, you know, one, be very cautious at who you choose to be your wife, because it's a very, very, very important decision. And women do one or two things. They're either going to help lift you up or they're going to drag you down like an anchor. It's never in between. There's no middle ground, you know, with this. The woman you get, she's either going to be a real helper or she is going to drag you to the pits, you know what I'm saying, at the bottom of the ocean like an anchor. Simple as that, man. You know, so it's an extremely important decision that one is making, you know, when they go in that. And hey, I don't have a problem at all. No different than what I would tell some of my young military folks out there that are in deployable status. That is the big problem with a lot of us, is that we get married too early and we're not home enough and we're not mature enough to handle the situation. And if you look at your professional athletes, a lot of them, they marry too early because they have all this money. They marry the wrong person, and they're also not around long enough, and they're not around enough to really foster the relationship the way they need to. You know what I'm saying? When you're traveling 60, 70% of the year, it's really difficult to be a good husband. You know, it's very difficult to be a good father when you're traveling like that. And the thing is that what people got to understand is that money doesn't replace time in that relationship that you're going to build. Money doesn't do that. I mean, there are some women out there that say, I don't care, you know, as long as he can buy me bags and this, that, and the third, it doesn't matter. But for the most part, you know, especially with the children, they could care less about what you buy them. They really remember, you know, those events that you made, you know, the ball games that you showed up to, the recitals that you showed up to. Those are the things that matter a lot. Or can you coach the team? You know, even if you don't know anything about the sport, can you just be there? Those are the memories that you'll have 10, 15, 20 years down the line. So I don't have a problem, you know, with his statement. And I definitely appreciate the fact that he's showing some discipline in a world where so many guys lack that same type of discipline that is necessary.
Well, Wise, when it comes to basketball players, I'm a big sports guy myself. When it comes to basketball players, football players, just pick a sport. It's a little different for these guys. They just can't go out, have kids all willy-nilly, you know, like I would like to, you know, because you know what I think. I think you should be fruitful, but that's a whole nother subject. You know, we ain't gonna open that can of worms. But anyway, when you have hundreds of millions of dollars involved, we just talked about how a woman's test is material, and more than not, women tend to take the money over the man. You know, So they'll go out, they'll make up some reason, divorce the guy, take a quarter, half of his wealth, assets, property, whatever else they can get, and move on. You know, and there's just not much incentive when you get to these really high value kind of guys, to get married outside of the religious aspect of getting married. They don't really see the benefit in it for them, because these women did not take the time to build with these guys when these guys had nothing, you know. And that's one thing that women underestimate about guys, okay? Especially guys who have drive and who have ambition, okay? There's a lot of late nights working, there's a lot of lonely nights, there's a lot of wanting somebody to be there. And these guys, they grind, they grind, they grind, but they build that little bit of resentment as they grind. Okay? And that's why when these guys finally get their money together, they're not really the nicest guys when it comes to women. Okay? Because I told you on a different episode that guys want women who will struggle with them. Okay? The day one will always be treated way different and will hold a different place in that man's heart than some chick who shows up once he's made it. Okay? It's two totally different people. She knows who you really are. When you was riding that hoopty, like Wise was telling me earlier, I'm riding my hoopty. I met my wife. I ain't had no money, broke, but she really liked them. So guess what? Their first date was probably chicken wing and fries.
I have to ask my wife what the first date was. I think it might have been Golden Corral. Might have been.
Yeah. It wasn't no Roof Chris, though. I can tell you that.
No, I've never taken her to Roof Chris. We can't afford Roof Chris. Are you kidding?
So this is what this is, and this is what I'm saying. So just think about this, Wise. God forbid, but let's just say your wife or son went outside the picture, right? Okay, now you've made it, you got some money, whatever the case may be. Another woman rolls into the picture, okay? She's never gonna be what the first one was. I can tell you that. Because the first one, Wise will always think back to riding with her in the hoopty, going to Golden Corral, not having a lot of money. This is what men cherish. And this is what we tell women. You got to get with these guys when these guys are on the come up and these guys are in the struggle. Because when you're there for him, when he has nothing, you hold a different place in his heart than any other woman. Okay, but y'all losing out because y'all want to chase after him after he got the Ferrari, after he got the Porsche, the nice house, all this other stuff. And guess what? You ain't nothing but another chick.
I got a question for you, Rolando. I got a question for you, Rolando, and we can get some of the other folks in there. But what do you say to a Kevin Durant who is a single man right now, who is worth hundreds of millions of dollars? How does he navigate eventually, once he's done playing ball and things of that nature? How does he navigate finding somebody that is actually into him in comparison to someone who knows all his stats and they know like, hey, this dude's made a bag, I need to get a piece of that? How does he navigate that? Or does he just stay single for the rest of his life?
Well, let me answer your question with a question. All right. If I gave you beef for free every day, would you ever buy a steak?
If you gave me beef for free every day, would I ever buy a steak?
I gave you all the beef you want all the time. Just call me. I got you. Steaks, ground beef, whatever you want. Would you ever buy steaks?
No.
Exactly. Yeah. That's how these guys feel about women.
Well, and Kevin,
they get it for free all day, every day. Okay. Why would I ever marry you?
Yeah, and I think that's
and it's not getting it for free. I'm sorry, Robert. It's not getting it for free from one woman. It's getting it for free from several women in several different states, even internationally. Okay, what's these men's incentive to marry anybody? There is none. That's why I say get them on the struggle, because once they get to where they going, they do business different.
Yeah, and then they may, do the Michael Jordan or do the Bezos and, get divorced, leave wifey with a big old bag and do it all over again. I want to get one of the ladies in there, Dion or Crystal, if you guys want to respond. Look at that. Wifey said it was either Golden Corral or Waffle House, first date. That's wifey.
I love it.
Golden Corral or Waffle House, one of the two.
I love that.
Let me tell you, I couldn't take a chick to Golden Corral now because you be on a TikTok video. I'm sorry, Chris.
Bet she'll eat though.
I will say that
before you go, Crystal, I want to say this, Rolando. If she is actually into you, like she really likes you, she'll go to that Golden Corral with you. She will sit down at that booth with you at Waffle House and enjoy that daggone waffle. If she's actually into you.
I agree. That's why
she really like you.
That's why when I go to Ruth Chris, I go by myself. You know what I mean? I only go to dates to go to Corral. That's where me and you go. But when I go solo,
you're not. We do not.
And Papa Doc said, as long as he don't bring that duffel bag on that first date, he good.
and if she really into you, she'll bring in some to-go containers. That lets you know she's resourceful.
Yeah, facts.
I would say I love that Kevin is not just spilling his seeds everywhere, because the Bible speaks about that. And he is, if I'm not mistaken, Kevin Durant is a Christian. He's one of the Christian athletes. So I appreciate that he's not out there doing that. And people forget legacy, it starts being built from the very beginning, before you even get married, because it's the mission that you have for yourself. It's the values and the character that you have for yourself that you'll carry on throughout each generation. I think Kevin Durant, if he trusts God, he will find the right woman for him. He will definitely find the right woman for him. But I agree. Like, I feel like tonight is therapy night for Crystal. Anyway, my ex, the one that had the multiple children, when I first met him, though, he picked me up in a beat up work van with his steel toe boots, because we met online and then I flew up to meet him in person, and we went to Ruby Tuesdays. It was a very simple date, and he was like, "You're so cool." Like I didn't have a problem jumping up in the work van and riding around with him when I didn't know much about his business or what he did, and I didn't care, because he was a nice guy who kept his word, a man of character. When he was doing he used to sell chemicals for mobile detailers. I got up in the box truck and I was driving the box truck for him. I was out there helping deliver the chemicals to the mobile detailers. I didn't care. I was there to help him. Little did I know that he had a lot of money. But I'm like Celeste and like Dion. I'm not sitting here banking on your bank account. That's your bank account. And I was concerned about his bank account. I was concerned about who he is as a person, and if we're compatible. And I think Kevin Durant just needs to deal with a woman. I mean, I know he's rich and famous, but deal with the woman that's okay with you. And I'm just going to say this, but that's okay with you buying Popeyes, putting out the blanket on the middle of the floor, and y'all eat dinner, and she's okay with that. Because when you get those high maintenance women, then you know what they want and what they're after. So I think he is doing it right by not being out here, because I mean, we look at Nick Cannon, his, no shade to Nick Cannon, but his kids don't have him. Let's be real.
No, I think we should throw shade at Nick Cannon. That's ridiculous what he's done.
Shade on Nick Cannon. He has kids everywhere, and his kids is all over the place. It's like a whole entire story. You can't be a really good father to those children because your children are all over the place. And Kevin Durant has been in the NBA long enough to watch and see all the men with the baby mamas and all the drama that goes along with that. And he was just like, that's not the life for me. I was raised better than that. Like I said, he has Christian values. He understands how it goes. I'm not about to be dropping babies that I can't be with. I have to have baby mamas that are over here losing their mind, want to take me to court every 5 seconds. It's not necessary. Like, he was like, I don't want that for his life. But misery loves company. I don't know this man and what his bank account, like if he has baby mamas, when I was asking him the question. I don't know this man, but misery loves company. So a lot of men would be like, why you ain't have one yet? Why would you want me to get into the same problems that you were going through? Like, what kind of friend are you? You should be saying, nah, you doing it right. You doing it right. Wait until you find the right woman, because you don't want to be wrapped up in the court system, struggling, not being in a nuclear family the way God created. And that's the way he knows it, because he was raised right. So keep it up, Kevin. I'm actually proud of you.
No, I actually appreciated the fact that he put it out there, and he wasn't ashamed to say, hey, I don't have any kids, and I don't have any baby mamas. I think that's a good thing. And it's almost a rarity, in this day and age of, rappers, entertainers, athletes out there. You'd be hard pressed, to find these guys, without, at least one, maybe two, women that he's sponsoring in the name of a baby mama. Dion, I want to give you the words.
Can I just say this real quick?
Yeah,
no, I'm not with him anymore, because people are asking in the comments. I'm not with him anymore because we are not politically aligned. So that was a no.
Oh wow. When did y'all find that out? How long did it take?
When the 2020 into 2021 election.
Okay. Now I have questions for you guys, for the ladies, and I know we talked about this last week, but how early on in the process of meeting a guy do you ask, hey, what is your, what are your thoughts politically? What side of the aisle, or what's your affiliation, or do you avoid those conversations in general?
Immediately.
No,
now.
I'm super early on that.
Yeah, my question is, are you okay with a woman with kids? My kids are grown. If you have an issue, then we are not going any further. Do you believe in God, and do you have a relationship with Jesus? Don't tell me that you believe in God and that's it. You better have a relationship with Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior. We're going to discuss scriptures, so you better know some scriptures for this conversation to continue. And I'm going to ask, who did you vote for? If you didn't vote, who would you have voted for? And if they say they stand for Kamala, if they say Kamala, black men for Kamala, or white dudes for Kamala, I'm out. Immediately, I'm out.
So no black dudes for Kamala and no white dudes for Kamala. Okay.
I don't want to hear nobody with Kamala. If you say Kamala, I'm walking out.
I'm gone.
Gotcha.
I don't know. That sounded kind of racist.
No Puerto Ricans for Kamala either. I don't want Puerto Ricans for Kamala either.
Okay, cool. All inclusive. I got you.
All inclusive.
A lot better.
LJ said her prospect, he's a prospect now. Wears a Trump hat. Very conservative.
All right, LJ.
All right now, LJ. We see you. We see you out there flexing in the chat. Flexing in the chat.
Flexing. That's hilarious.
Hey, I'm a Trump supporter, and I drive a big old truck.
Okay, so
Rolando putting his bid in. Crystal, he's letting it be known, like he is. He's ready and willing.
Yeah, I
love you. All shoulders matter, really, Joshua? We just gonna be on the shoulders again?
All shoulders matter.
No, but Wise, I'm kind of in the same position as KD. Well, basically, I'm older than him. He's in his late 30s. I believe he's 39, if I'm right on that.
Somebody said 37.
37, is it?
Somebody in the chat said 37.
Okay, so I'm 45. Listen, if a man doesn't have kids in his life, or if a woman decides not to have kids in her life, that's their decision, and we shouldn't be critical about it. the fact that you're asking another man why it is that he doesn't have kids is weird in itself. Normally that's a question that you get from women most of the time for single men. So when I meet a woman and they go, "How old are you?" I tell them my age, and they go, "Wow, you don't have any kids?" And I'm like, "No." That's normally the first question that comes from a woman's mouth. So for this guy to ask that question would be weird, just period, as barbershop conversation, kind of thing. So right there, that's just kind of weird. And then you don't pry into people's personal life, whether it's a podcast or anything else. Stop asking people questions about, hey, you got a girlfriend, hey, you got a wife, you got this, you got that. Because maybe somebody's, dating department is not that good and they don't want to be reminded of it. I know this happens with women a lot where, they're not having good luck when it comes to dating or that kind of stuff, you know, and it's just not a good topic to talk about. So stop asking people about their marital status and relationships and all that kind of stuff. Just stick to what your grandfather used to talk about, all right, which is basically sports, the weather, and the fights. Because anytime my dad met somebody, he'd be like, "Hey, you saw the fight last night? Yeah, so and so took 2 punches to the head," that kind of stuff. So, just stick to other topics. Stay away from religion. Stay away from, politics, and stay away from, people's personal life. The reason I say stay away from religion is because religion is a very good thing, but it also can be very divisive, and people will kill and will die for it. Okay.
Are you saying that
so
if you're trying to go out with somebody or you're looking at some, you don't want to ask them about, their religious faith? You don't care, about their, political,
no,
leanings. You don't care about any of that?
I believe I'm a little liberal when it comes to that. Because at the end of the day, Wise, I feel like every person has to answer for themselves. For example, when I stand in front of my creator, I can only answer for the things that I've done in this life. You know, the same way the person standing behind me walks up, they're gonna have to answer for what they done. So I don't really live in nobody else's shoes. I live in my own shoes. So if somebody wants to be gay, they want to be bi, they want to be religious, they want to be atheist, really not my concern. My only concern is that you abide by the laws that are set by the land, and stop trying to influence people, whether you're Muslim or Christian or anything else. Stop trying to influence people to your side. Let people have the free will. God gave them free will. Let them exercise it. Okay. Let them find the word and let them come over. I know every book, the Quran and Christianity, they both preach to others and bring people into the faith. I get that, you know, but we also have to remember that religion is a beautiful thing, but it's a very delicate thing. you know like I told you, Wise, people will kill, they will die for it. You look through the history books, wars have been started over it, that kind of stuff. So, you know having religion is a great thing, but be careful with it, because some people do weaponize it. They use it for everything from, hey man, I can start this war because my God told me to women praying for men and thinking that God is going to save all their relationships. You know what I mean? So
I gotta
everybody
disagree with you.
uses it for something else. I'm not like that, man. Religion to me is for me, my personal relationship with God. Outside of that, I try to keep it out of other aspects of my life, where I don't want it to get cloudy, if
Okay.
that makes
I think I
sense.
understand where you're coming from,
I
but
don't.
I think that, you want to be with people that believe in the things that you believe in, because it could be, there could be some issues, especially once you bring children, into the fold. How are we going to raise the children? You agree one thing, I agree on another thing. How are we going to raise these kids? And they're not, being pulled, in a multitude of directions, and we're not on the same page when it comes to,
but why?
when
How
it
do you
comes
make
to
sure that you don't build your own echo chamber?
Say that again.
Can two walk together unless they agree?
How do you have that protection or know-how not to build your own echo chamber?
Oh, well, in my household, my house needs to be an echo chamber. It needs to be, my house needs to be an echo chamber. Now, outside, that's a different situation, but my household, absolutely. I'm not here to be the kid's friend. And, my wife, I'm her covering. So, no, there needs to be, no, I think the household in that relationship, I think it's necessary, to have that. You start talking about people that are on different ends of the spectrum in everything. That's normally not a recipe for a successful relationship.
Right.
No, I don't mean I don't mean that. I just mean me myself, how I live my life. I don't push that on to anybody else. You know what I mean?
I don't think you have to push it on anybody. I think you're just looking for people that align with you. That are like-minded, and you guys are in alignment with the way y'all want to live your life. I don't think you have to meet somebody and say, hey, I'm like this, you got to do this because I'm like this. No, I think you set a standard. You have an understanding of what you believe in and say, okay, hey, this is what I'm looking for. And you go at it accordingly. And if that's not there, you keep it moving.
So I think it's a little bit different in terms of when you're talking about a mate and when you're just talking about people that you interact with in other spaces like your work, like, I can agree that you don't necessarily need to have religious conversations, political conversations, these types of conversations with people that I'm engaging with socially. But if I'm going to build a life with you, now the requirements for that are completely different. I can't follow you if I don't know what you're following. I can't walk behind that because I don't know what it is. So I'm going to have to know where you stand politically. I'm going to have to know where you stand religiously. I'm going to have to do that because that's all part of me getting on your program and being on your team, and to be able to honestly say, yes, this is something I can do. I won't be able to honestly say that if I don't actually know what it is you are trying to do with your life. I'm going to have to understand that. And that's kind of, Rolando, what you were saying about, being with the person who's ambitious and who's really grinding. That person, you can get on their program because you have an idea of what they're trying to make of their life. But beyond just their work and getting their money up, what else are they trying to make of their life? What kind of character are they trying to develop? And what kind of man do they want to be? Those are all going to be important things for me to know about before I can honestly sign on to any program.
And I just want to say real quick to Rolando, I love you, brother, but I just want you to know we're supposed to be the Lord gave us the Great Commission. We are supposed to go out and make disciples of all nations. That means that we're supposed to be taught, we're supposed to be inviting Jesus into every conversation because Jesus is involved. God is supposed to be involved in every area of our life. In any area of our life that God is not included in, that is where you walk in spiritual blindness. In any area that God is not involved in, that's where Satan can make his home.
Can I ask you a question?
So, yeah.
Can I ask you a question? If Christians are doing that and the Quran is preaching for Muslims to do that, do you not think that two ideologies just kind of going the same route won't eventually just bump heads?
See, I don't subscribe to Islam because I serve the one true living God, so I don't even entertain
No, I'm
anybody.
not saying subscribe, but I'm saying if you have two religions and they're both being told by the book of that religion to spread their religion, you don't think that that's going to lead to some kind of calamity in the future?
Oh, there's going to be. When we go through the entire Word of God, we get to the point that it's going to come to a head. That is what is going to happen. So we're not, when we don't, just because we're not talking about it, that doesn't stop what the Lord has already said is going to happen. It's going to happen. So I would rather be on the side, like the Lord says. If you are ashamed of me here on earth, I will be ashamed of you in front of my Father. That's why I'm bringing God into every conversation. Period. Point blank. He is supposed to be involved in everything. And the thing is, Islam has no problem making sure everybody knows about Islam. They make
And
sure
there,
everybody knows about it. But Christians have this we don't want to talk about it. No, we're supposed to be talking about it. We're supposed to be disciples. That is what God has called us to. That is our mission. That is everyone's purpose. The purpose may, like, everyone has the same purpose. It just looks differently in people. When you are under God, when you are under the Lord Jesus Christ, Yahweh, Yeshua, when you're under Him, we all have the same purpose. We're supposed to be going out and making disciples of all nations. But our purpose, the way we do it is different. I do it on a podcast. Somebody may do it in writing a book. Somebody may do it when they're selling items in the store. Chick-fil-A does it this way. What do you call it? Hobby Lobby does it that way. Everybody does it differently, but we're supposed to be doing it. Period.
And can I just quickly say this, Rolando? I'm not sure that to do that is necessarily have to be an aggressive, proselytizing, conflict oriented. You know what you can do? You can actually live a God-fearing life and people can watch that. They can see God in you. And sometimes the show is always better than the tell. Sometimes it's better.
Celeste, I got a question for you too. So I just understood what you said, but what if one side of the two religions is actually radically pushing their agenda? What does the other side do then?
well,
So I think in this case, and I think you're right about that. I think in this case, we have to actually, the best thing about the God that we serve is the fact that He's willing to allow free will. He's willing to allow you not to serve Him. So He's not even aggressively pushing you into it. He's saying, this is the love and the grace and the mercy I have to offer. And it's here for you if you want it. But God doesn't force you to take it. So if you look at a religion that says, no, we forced this on you, you have to take this. Or you look at another religion that says, we'd love to have you, but we're not forcing it on you. It is still up to the person to make that choice.
and see, the thing is, I guess the
No,
difference
I
that we're seeing
understand
here
that, but
is
I'm talking about the violent
religion
aspect.
Hold up,
and a
Rolando.
personal, the religion and a personal relationship with Jesus, with Yeshua, is very much different. And I think that I guess when you're looking at it that way as a religion, where because there's a difference, being a true follower of Christ is a lifestyle more than a religion. So when you have religion, you have these rules and expectations that you're supposed to abide by in. And I mean, I think in this panel, we're not like that, as clearly I've at least I can see, and I hope the viewers see that as well. We're actually just followers. We're not subscribed to a religion. Now, when you say, will they clash? They're already clashing now. If you go look up what's going on in Sudan, in the continent of Africa, there is a pile of bodies and tens of thousands of bodies, and there are a bunch of women that are Christian. And who are they killed from? They call them this militia, but it's Muslims. So there is a clash, and you're right, Rolando. It's happening now. It's not even in the future. It's been happening now, and no one seems to bat an eye. So there is actual Christians, believers, trying to preach the gospel while worrying that they're getting murdered. And
Yeah.
anyways, but I think you're looking at it back to the whole when we started a relationship. Yeah, like Wise says, this is it has to be, you have to have your moral values aligned, because then you're never, anything you do is always second guessed, and that's how certain conflicts that don't matter get involved, and you wind up hating each other. And then when you add a child in the equation, it's just a place that
Well,
you know
Well, Robert, let me intersect for a second. because the reason I say that is because I'm not saying that Christians are radicals. They're far from radicals. Okay, but the problem is you have a faith like the Muslim faith, where you do have radicals, and what happens when they go on the attack like they have in Sudan, and killing all these Christians. How long do Christians just kind of turn the other cheek? Is it at 100,000 lives,
Can defend
200,000,
themselves.
300?
We can defend ourselves.
No, I'm just asking because when you have one side, who's more than willing to practice violence, how much violence is the other side supposed to accept before they actually fight back?
So the difference between violence and
Because
aggression.
it's either fight back or annihilation. So eventually you'll have to fight back just to be able to live.
See, there is see, this is where a lot of people about the slap and turn the other cheek. It's not really about that. We are supposed to be defenders of justice and defend ourselves, and that is. But the thing is, it's got to be in context versus like right now when it's a big, like if the government is after you, yeah, you're not supposed to, as a believer, whatever happens to me and my death is gain. So like Charlie Kirk, for example, right? I'm sure he's happy where he's at, because he's actually and that's where the word comes, martyr, right? You become something stronger than what it is. And that's why the apostles, they all died a gruesome death. And we are going to be, and we're right now cozy and cushion here, but there's actual believers that are going through those persecution right now. And the vengeance is the Lord's, not ours. So
yeah, but that doesn't mean that they can't fight.
That's correct. That's correct.
I mean, I understand about everything that happens once you pass on to the other life, but that does not mean that anybody can willy-nilly just walk up and kill me, or kill my family.
Correct.
Correct. And I'm not allowed to protect myself
You
or
are.
protect my wife or my kids. That's where you kind of lose me a little bit because even when you read the scriptures, there's plenty of examples in the scriptures of God having to show the wrath of God to people for whatever reason. Whether it be the Assyrians, when he told them they couldn't enter Israel and literally annihilated the whole army.
Yeah.
And things like that. So there are examples of when God says, look, you can turn the other cheek sometimes, but you can't do it all the time because you're just going to run out of cheek.
And that's why we're fighting for our Second Amendment. We're trying to make sure that is here. We're trying to make sure we don't wind up like Sudan, because Sudan.
But the difference is, Rolando, you can defend yourself. There's no one telling you can't defend yourself in your family. What is not Christian is to be the aggressor of violence, to actually that's what you see when you see Islam. These people are being aggressively violent. They're not defending themselves. They're walking into other people's villages and slaughtering them. And yes, if the Christians see them coming, whatever they have, they should use to fight.
Yep.
Exactly.
I would agree with that.
Exactly.
And with that being said, we're going to get up out of here.
It was about to get.
We getting up out of here.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going on. I told everybody that we will not be here until 1:00 in the morning tonight.
Hey,
I told Dion that as well.
Time, right?
We will not be here. Well, I'm letting it be known. We not.
Hey, Wise, I kept looking over at you. I said, man, Wise look hungry.
It ain't even that. I ate beforehand. Hey, wifey, man, hooked it up. I ate good today. I ate really good today. You know what I'm saying? I ate good today.
I want to throw something in there real quick.
Man when I see one.
Go ahead, Spaces.
Because it went way left from the subject, right?
Yeah, I know. Rolando, leave it to Rolando. We're gonna have another meeting next week to say, hey, stay on topic, man. Golly.
The funeral director want to take us all over the place.
You know?
Listen, Robert, Crystal, and Celeste all floated off on that raft with me.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. I'm like, man, I gotta bring y'all back. I gotta, throw a rope out there, bring y'all back. You know what I'm saying?
It's Ronaldo's fault. He was over here asking questions.
I may have went out there first, but Celeste and Robert and Crystal had their own little raft going.
Yeah, they all went there with you. I'm gonna give Spaces the last word.
Yeah,
get in there, brother.
Regarding that subject, I think the guy's name on the Pivot podcast is Channing Crowder.
Yeah, Channing Crowder.
And I don't watch the Pivot, but I know I'm glad you guys kind of went off on that conversation, because I had to bring myself back, because that was a very, very embarrassing question to ask. That is a very, I was going to call him an embarrassment, but I brought it back. I calmed myself down, because that is absolutely ridiculous. That is the expect. Do you not know the statistics for children in Black families? Do you not know that Black families are the leaders in specifically the negative things in society? Like, why would you even ask that question? Why is that an expectation? Why didn't you ask him, when is he going to get married and then have kids?
Yeah.
Do you not know the situation with Anthony Edwards, where he wanted to opt out of fatherhood? So he went ahead and paid out $1 million up front to abandon the child. Do you not know why it was absolutely ridiculous, absolutely embarrassing, and I'm going to leave it there.
Yeah, I do agree with you. I thought it was a pretty embarrassing question as well. And it just kind of feeds right into the statistics there. But I appreciate you guys pulling up today, man. Like I said, I want to try to tighten up the show as much as we can. And I don't want to be here until 1 o'clock in the morning. We got to have another conversation. I have to resend the note that I sent out earlier today. I'll have to resend that out. Obviously, some of you guys didn't get the memo, or y'all got the memo, just didn't read it, which, basically y'all pulled a Jamarcus Russell. They sent you the blank DVD home, told you that there were some plays and some film footage to watch. There wasn't nothing on there. That was just to see if you guys were actually going to, check out the tape. But I appreciate you guys.
Do me like that? Why you gonna send me to bed with a guilt trip? That's just wrong, man. That's just wrong.
But hey, it's all love. It's all love. I appreciate you guys pulling up today. Lord willing, we'll be able to do this again next week, Wednesday, for the late shift crew.
What we wearing?
Choir robes.
Choir
robes.
Choir robes.
Just make sure you're wearing pants.
Yeah, pants. Rolando, pants. And Crystal, make sure you have that shoulder out next week, okay?
Oh my gosh, the shoulder. I cannot with the shoulder.
Definitely a shoulder.
Come on, Wise. You know I wouldn't shortchange you.
Well, I appreciate that, Rolando. I appreciate that. He had to show us his ankles real quick. At least he didn't have on white socks, so I appreciate that.
Right?
I appreciate that.
Michael Jackson.
I would have been judging.
No, the class extends all the way to the socks.
The class. You said the class extends all the way to the socks. Okay, I can dig it.
The classiness extends all the way to the socks. Wise, we don't cut no corners over here.
I can dig it. I can appreciate it, man. I can appreciate it. Appreciate everybody. We're going to get up out of here, man. I'll see you guys in the morning. Lord willing, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for ARP in the morning. Hey, shout out to everybody that support the channel financially. Shout out to everybody on the panel. You guys, y'all can see it. I know people they're like, you need to put the names up, and we need to get an understanding of where we can find these people. So you guys see it. It's all right there. It's been there the entire show. Check it out. Go check those people out. Go check out Celeste's book. You see it right there. The Ass Backward Way to Move Forward. Go check it out. Shout out to all the Blues, all my ARP family members. Thank you guys for pulling up. And as always, keep God first, stay prayed up. We'll catch up with y'all next time, man. Y'all take care. Peace.
Peace.
won't stop. I won't quit. Stand for the truth. No counterfeit. Real ones rise. Let the fake ones split. Repent for the lies. Let the darkness live.